Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Anime Lately Podcast, your ultimate hub for all things anime and beyond. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you're a returning listener, or welcome to a new channel. We're thrilled to have you on board for another exciting dive into the world of animation and pop culture. This is episode 157 of the Anime Lately Podcast. Brace yourself for a character debate, side conversation, and a dash of chaos and a hatred from jokester that decided to leave us ghosted, all crammed in a 2-hour adventure. But yeah, damn, our 3-week consistent shows got broken, but we're here because you know why? This episode brings you an Arcane Season 1 review, as you see from the thumbnail, from the title, and like we spoke about it on episode 156, that this next episode will be Arcane with a dash of the weebology and excitement. All time codes will be in the description as always, so engage with us. Share this episode. Bring your friends and your abuelas, your tios, your hermanos, your Thanksgiving. The holidays are approaching. Bring anybody and let's make this day unforgettable. All powered by AniMa W3 Studio. And as always, all these recordings are pre-recorded for... Damn, how the fuck did I mess up the ending? I did everything so beautiful.
Wait. You should leave it in there.
Future Vash, keep this in.
Engage with us. Share this episode. Bring your friends, all the abuelas, your grandmothers, your sisters, your grandfathers, your cousins. We're in the holiday spirit. Bring anybody that you want to bring and join with us to make this day unforgettable. All powered by AniMa W3 Studio. And as always, as a friendly reminder, all Anime Lady podcasts will be pre-recorded. No future streams unless you'll be seeing a notification in your airwaves. So without further ado, let's enjoy the episode. As always, your host, love and peace. We all have had bad days, but we learn and we stick together. Said by V on Season 1, Episode 1, Arcane.
Even though that was said by Vi or V or however you want to say her name, I'm Watkins, and I'm the monster that was created due to Vash's insane love for long-ass isekai titles. Swear.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy Crash, letting you guys know no matter how many shots you throw at me, I will somersault in the air and hit you in the face with my zero drive. If you know, you know.
And I do not know.
Look, chat, if you don't know what he's talking about, the longest name and title of Sika, go check out the Off the Bench podcast. My intro, I'm not going to repeat it because that shit was a mouthful. But go check out that anime intro that I did, the backstab in a backwater dungeon, etc., because it got an anime announcement and we were laughing hilariously in our Discord server, because how does this whole 180 character literally have as a title?
It's
translation
your fault.
problems.
I blame you.
Blame you. I bet you, imagine if it has like an episode 19 like Demon Slayer and it gets talked about by like Twitch streamers and during the pandemic where it's be big known. It could be. One day.
They better come up with a shorter name then, so we can talk about it online.
Like I said, acronyms.
Yeah, acronyms, nicknames, I don't know.
Look, I tried to do the acronyms during the Off the Bench. It didn't even work out. So sometimes things cannot always work with an acronym, just like AniMa W3 Studio. So if you're here for the first time, crazy plug section here. So if you're here for the first time, we are animation, manga, webtoons, wrestling, and entertainment, and the perfect representation for the weebs for the mainstream. So if you're here for the first time, this is Anime Lately Podcast, where we're a conversational podcast. We have discussions, we have debates, and we talk about what other lists added to what do things hated by Jokestar, or how many more things is Vash gonna be optimistic about? How much does he believe in the future? And how much does Crash hate the Batman when it's actually that great? Like the Penguin came out and we haven't even had the chance to even spoken about that, which I can't wait also to add during the Weeb Lounge. But If you're here for the first time, like the stream, comment down below your thoughts about this episode because we'll be talking about Arcane Season 1 as our main topic. A few news being sprinkled down the show, and we're about to transition into our Weeps Lounge. So please, guys, let us know. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and also go check us on our audio feed, and go check our other channel on Weeps of the Ring, where we have Mondays and Fridays coverage. Survivor Series is next week, Saturday. So we're about to get into fucking war games. So let's get into it. Without further ado, to the Weeps Lounge for discussing personal updates and latest media we have consumed of the Life and Media Lounge. It's time for a weekly check-in on the highs and lows, along with the last anime, manga, media that we've been enjoying. Pour a virtual cup, drink of your choice, coffee, tea, whiskey, or blunt. Up to you, your choice. Connect on the personal side of our journey and the media that's been keeping us entertained. So I'm gonna pass it first to Watkins. How have you been? What is it that you want to bring to the table, bring to the chat?
Oh, look, I have an agenda I need to push for the next 6 more weeks, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think 6 more weeks.
Is it the Dragon
it's Invincible
Ball
Fight Girl?
Oh,
it's
Fight
Invincible
Girl.
Fight Girl. Nah, it is Invincible Fight Girl. This show is awesome. So it's a cartoon, obviously, but like there's so much influence from anime. Like literally, the girl wants to be the best wrestler, and it's like this whole world that's just it's centered around wrestlers and wrestling. Like literally, the dream is to become a wrestler. Like think MHA, but in wrestling terms and better. Like the main character Andy is very endearing, and like. I don't want to say too much because really you should experience
You should watch it. It's, by the way,
Well,
for
like-
anybody that have not seen it, go on HBO Max. You can also watch it on YouTube, episode 1 for free. If not, watch it on Toonami. Or no, not Toonami, my apologies. Adult Swim.
No, Toonami. Well, yeah, I mean Toonami, Adult Swim, Tomato.
Yeah.
Like it comes on Saturday nights at midnight, but if you can't watch it live, yeah, it'll be on Max next morning. I think like 9 a.m. they said. So yeah, definitely go check it out because like animation is phenomenal. I mean, just some of the reaction shots they have with some of these characters are they're just really good. But like it's not only just that, but like the action moments are just they're very fluid, but also really snappy. And the voice acting is really good too. Like if you watched, what's the show? I think it's called Kippo. Yeah, one of the main voice actresses from that, I think the character's name was like Wolf or something. She plays the main character Andy, and she does a really good job at her work and all that. But like, if you're a fan of wrestling as well,
There's 4.
But yeah, go ahead.
There's 4 episodes out so far.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I'm behind because I've only seen the first 2. I was totally unaware. Yeah. So no, the first 2 episodes is amazing. I highly recommend what Watkins is saying. I back 100% what he's saying because it reminded me of anybody seen I think it's called Lucha Libre. I remember back in the day.
No, Lucha.
Lucha. Thank you for the correction, guys. Lucha. Anybody have not seen it, you even Dominic Mysterio, as much as you hate him, he respects the game. He respects the wrestling where he grew up with his father, Rey Mysterio. His deadbeat dad. He was so close to wear a mask. Dominic Mysterio, because he wanted to appreciate the love of the game, the whole Lucha Libre. And as a kid, I love pro wrestling. I love cartoons. I love animation. Seeing wrestling and animation combined as a kid as Lucha, and the song was good. It was everything entertaining, the best highlights of it. But then now seeing Invincible Fight Girl and animation, I didn't expect that was gonna be as good to what it is, and the anime influence is done so well, and you feel if anybody didn't see this, most likely nobody they is on Disney Plus. What's it called? I think it's called Dino Moon Girl, and
Moon
Devil
Girl and
Dinosaur. The
Devil
animation
Dino, yep.
style reminds me a lot of this, and I recommend anybody have not
Yeah.
seen it, go watch Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I think it's 2 seasons right now. No, season 1, 2 seasons. Wow, I'm not.
I think season 2's coming out. Yeah.
No, it's out already. Season 2 is out. I see.
Oh, it is.
30,
Oh, okay.
I see 14 episodes right now. Season 2. I'm not
God
season 2.
damn.
I see season 1.
Bet.
I'm
Hell
not
yeah.
sure if I finished it, but I highly recommend anybody who know. I'm not finished it. I've only seen it up to episode 10 of season 1, so yeah, I was behind. But
Yeah.
the animation style reminds me a lot of Invincible Fight Girl. Really happy with how much push it's been getting, even though it has not been marketed a lot. From what I could tell, it's been more marketed by the fans and people watching. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, dude, don't worry, because like so whenever I'm watching like Raw or SmackDown or tonight AEW, they do have commercials and ads for it during those, which okay, yes, you're actually like promoting it on like the medium that you should be promoting it on. So that's at least cool to see.
Well,
So
one
it's like,
for
yeah.
AEW makes sense because they have a partnership or a contract with HBO Max coming next year. So for them, it makes sense that they are also promoting it in that sense.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about online, like Twitter, social media, IG.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm not seeing none of it, which is good that the word of mouth is so good that you're seeing it from, like, of course, a big shout out to Watkins himself that he also tweets it from the main channel of the Weeps of the Ring handle. So it shows that it also gets the extra push to be showing that. So I'm happy that at least people are talking about it, because if it wasn't being talked about, how would you know to watch it? Like our co-host Crash here said, hey, if it's not hot news, it has to be trash or mid.
Yeah.
I will admit, I even watching the first one, I actually generally understand where everyone's coming from with the animation. Animation's fire. I'm not somebody who generally watches any kind of wrestling whatsoever, but I will have to admit myself, I liked it. I liked watching the first episode. I didn't know 4 episodes are out, so I gotta catch up with that, but I will attest to that. It's good.
Yeah, like, and it's just there's a lot of heart with it too, because like there's this moment where, like, you know, she goes off on her own, she goes into this big city, and like there's just a lot of, especially I think it was episode 2, she meets up with like these former wrestlers, these guys and girls that couldn't make it and all that, and like the shit that they say to her to kind of inspire her to continue on and to like move forward a little bit, or like think more realistically about things. It's, oh man, it's just really good, and something that like you can just take for your own life and for your own things. Like, I could quote it all day. We could sit here and talk about it all day, but you know what? When the show ends, keep an eye out for Weaves of the Ring, because I don't care if Vash hasn't watched it. I don't care if Drop hasn't watched it. I will at least be doing a video on Invincible Fight Girl.
Oh, I will join you. Hey.
God damn.
I'm 2 episodes in, but I will watch the rest for how great it is. And just see the animation, the heart in it, the details for the character, the hair, the ring, even the details of the ring and the ropes, just showing all the flexibility of all that. It's just fantastic.
I love how literally a wrestling match can happen anywhere at
any time.
And you wonder, how are they going to get a ring? Oh, wait, there's satellites up there. Like, that's how serious wrestling is in this show. And how, like, literally the main girl is from a place called Accountant Isle. What?
Yo, so this is what I thought the 24/7 belt back in WWE, I thought it was gonna be like the 24/7, but like, yo, you fight anytime, anywhere. This is what I thought as a kid, guys. As a kid, the Money in the Bank contract was that is anytime, anywhere. Like earlier this year, Seth Rollins was injured for like 4 months that he couldn't really fight until WrestleMania. Yeah. But there's a guy called Senior Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. Like, hey, my God, you're in the locker room. Why not cash it in on Seth? But then they start to add in rules like, oh, you cannot cash it in when somebody's injured. All right, cool. But as a kid, I thought Money in the Bank and the 24/7 belt was literally anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
That ain't happened, though.
The last 2 things I'm just going to point out really quick. First of all, I want the Perm Gang back, because they are fun as hell. They kind of give off like Ginyu Force vibes. So I'm like, oh yeah,
Yes,
give me more of that shit. Give me more of that. Like, so there's that, and just the aura that some of these wrestlers in this show have. Like when you guys watch episode 2, the one woman that comes in, the fucking aura, the hockey, the spiritual pressure, whatever you want to say, whatever kind of terminology you want to use from anime.
It reminds me of Queen.
If this show was rated M for mature, guys, I would be saying a lot more stuff right now, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Just go watch it. This agenda will be happening on every single episode of Anime Lately and on Weebs of the Ring until the show ends. And even when the show ends, I'm still going to be pushing for it because, hey, this show has legs. It could go for centuries and you wouldn't get bored at it at all. You'd be like, oh yeah, give me more of that shit. But I'm done. That's all I want to point out with the Weebs Lounge this week. You know, go watch Invincible Fight Girl. If not, Pikachu's gonna come and bite off your small toe.
For me, Crash, if you don't mind, I would like to transition into myself of what I've been watching. I'm gonna pass it first to the Tulsa King by Mr. Bobby Balboa, Sylvester Stallone. I'm a first say this. He is great. Sylvester Stallone is great. The supporting cast and the show itself is cringy. Not on. And look, not in a bad way. If you want to watch it, anybody that loves Sylvester Stallone, yes. But as somebody who works in the industry, I'm a bit of suspension of disbelief because Sylvester Stallone is a 75-year-old man. For anybody that don't know, he's 75-year-old when he first filmed season 1. Season 2 just aired. He's currently 78. In the first episode, this is just a minor spoiler that anybody cares about Tulsa King. This 75-year-old man got it in the bag with a person at the strip club.
Good.
The person at the strip club got mad once she found out his age. Like, oh shit, she's probably, I assume, in her 40s. Once she found out that he was 75, I'm like, oh my G, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I'm not okay with this. It's not you, it's me. No, sorry, it's not you, it's not me, it's the age. I gotta go. So all that, the lines, the actors, the character of Sylvester Stallone gets kicked out from the New York City Mafia and get told, hey, you did time for life, you out, but there's nothing for you here. I'm gonna send you to Tulsa. You make a man for yourself in Tulsa. That's why the show is called Tulsa. He becomes king of it. Other than the show itself, the line, the script relies heavy on the guy that's 75 years old. If he was Tom Cruise that was 55, it will make it more sound believable. But as a guy that works in the industry, every time you jump cut when Sylvester Stallone does like an action scene, it shows it's not him doing it, or if it is, it's just slow-mo. And that's, for me, it takes me out of it. That's my production mindset, is a bit the editing, the acting, the cringiness, which if the show itself, if I had the things I do, content creator, all these things that I'm top, I work, I have anime to watch, movies to watch, all these other things, Tulsa King would be more of a back burner. If I wasn't a content creator, if I was more of a consumer, if I just wanted to watch shows to watch, then I will probably would binge Tulsa King. But I got better things to do or better things to watch, other than watching 8 more episodes of Tulsa King and then another season 2, when it feels like it could end off by season 2 or season 3, because a lot of episode 2 and 1 literally kind of it showed you your 5 or 6 type of different enemies and big boss and mid boss that you have to defeat by next season.
I get your perspective, and I will at least want to say, I respect your opinion. I'm not even mad at that. Like I
And
totally
like,
get where you're coming
and
from.
plus to add
Mhm.
one more caveat, while I was watching with wifey, I was smiling watching Sylvester Stallone because I grew up watching Rocky. Like anybody that grew up watching Rocky, I you get to see the guy that you love, a Sylvester of all the movies he has done. You see the greatness of Sylvester Stallone. But do I really want to take the time to watch a 75-year-old supposed to be believable, taking out a town and making his own as his bitch, and somehow you're technically bringing the problems, not trying to stop the problems and also control the problems. You're making it worse for the people in this town. So it's like, I'd rather watch.
Ready for me.
Yeah, I'm like, I'd rather watch other stuff that is more on a priority list. Like, I'd rather catch up on Star Wars. I'd rather catch up on my other type of mediums that I need to watch.
Mm-hmm. See, now I'm just picturing Sylvester Stallone dressed up as the Godfather and being like, I can make you an offer you can't refuse. Come on, Adrian.
He literally did that in episode 1. He literally did that, except saying the exact line that you said, of saying that you said, I am making you an offer you can't refuse, instead of him saying, I am making you an offer to help you to stop from the bad guys from coming. And the guy asks, who are the bad guys? And he says, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's called Fist 1 and Fist 2. Righty and lefty.
So yeah, Crash. Not saying that, do I recommend anybody watch it? Yes. If you love Sylvester Stallone, if you have the time, watch it. But if you got better things to do and better things to watch, I say, take a pause. If you want to binge it one day, you can. But that's a good 8 hours you're spending on that one episode of a season.
I think it's a niche show. I think it's not for everybody. That's why I see your perspective. I did see a bit of a behind the scenes commentary with him about why he did the show, how it went, and everything, which I'm not gonna dive into. Mind you, I'm gonna try to defend this show, even though I personally have not watched it. I want to watch it really badly, but unfortunately, I don't have Paramount Plus. I have seen so many clips on YouTube, on Facebook, so I have an idea. I even get previews of like what's the next episode going to be about for season 2. So like I'm not oblivious. I have an idea what's going on in the show. But to that being said, the show is very specific. It's an old man coming as Vash out of jail. So somebody like that getting into the new world.
Brother, 25 years to life. I'm gonna just say that. It's not crazy spoiler. He does say in the first episode, 25 years to life. He did.
So somebody coming, from like years and years, incarcerated in prison, coming out now in like, the 21st century, well, 2020, you can say 2021, 2022, but like coming to like, right now, the current year, it's very difficult to, adapt
Adjust, yeah.
Especially when everything you've known has changed, not even with just their crew, the people you knew, to now, like, you have to meet new people. You have to understand the new technology, adapt to new words, slangs, how people act. It's very difficult, especially for a person that has always known New York all his life. Because the mafia, the gang that he is from, is based in New York City.
Yeah.
And I know a friend personally, like that. Shout out to Alex, one of my best friends. He had to leave, New York to go live in another state. Leaving all that, to go somewhere else, it hurts. It's touching. So in that way, it kind of relates, building up what you like, starting off from scratch, every little, point of detail from the beginning. It's hard. It gets that. So yeah, I can see why Bash would say it's, not his thing. It really is not for everybody, but I will admit it has good drama. And the character aspect too, yeah, it is a little cringy because it's newer people, newer, ideas and terms. It's not, an old school kind of mafia show movie. It is more of like a modern aspect to that idea, which I don't mind. I like new takes on organized crime, which is why I'm giving it a chance. I think if you're willing to see, how it ends, where it goes, it might even end in 2 seasons. Who knows? It really depends. But it's still airing. I think it's got a couple more episodes before it finishes. But
No,
I'm gonna wait to see how.
they just aired the last episode this past week.
Oh well,
Hmm.
I retract what I said, and I hope that it ended on a good note. So I could watch both seasons, and if it didn't, I hope to God maybe season 3 comes out. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, because what I do sometimes when I'm curious about the show, I sometimes, while the show is ending on episode 1, I go read the bio and title of the next episodes so I could see, okay, so that's where we go next. That's where we're going to lead up to. Interesting, cool. So it kind of gives me an understanding of where is the story going. And if I'm interested to see that turn of events, while I was reading season 1 turn of events, I was like, I knew it. I knew it. Yeah, I kind of figured, oh shit, I was right. So on my prediction, after watching episode 1 to 2, literally reading the bio and the titles, almost 80% of my ideas literally almost came true, but without me seeing the context, so of course.
Yeah. And you know what? If you don't like that show, you could always just watch Invincible Fight Girl.
Yes.
No, well, you're right. 100% you're right.
Or if you like this type of not really mafia, if you like, damn, I really don't know how to transition.
Crime?
Organized crime, yes, I'll say organized crime. You can also go on Paramount Plus and watch this other show. It's CBS original. By the way, this is not a sponsored video from Paramount Plus. I just had a Paramount Plus type of binge type of week. Not yet. Yes, called Tracker. You know why I wasn't show? For one reason only: Justin Hartley. If anybody don't know who that is, this is the guy who played the original Green Arrow from Smallville.
I don't remember watching Smallville too much. I remember seeing maybe the first season as a child because it came out a long time ago. And that's pretty much it.
Neat.
No, he was Superman, and that's all I remember.
All right, look. So I feel like I'm the only one in this bowl. This man Justin Hartley somehow, I don't know how this man age is or how old is he, but this man still is motherfucking fit. Cause this man every time in Smallville, the cast or the writing team somehow say, hey, every time Justin Hartley comes on screen, we gotta get this man shirtless. Every time. It reminded me of fucking Stephen Amell on his show Green Arrow. This man in the first couple seasons was always shirtless right before they started the scene. Like somehow shirtless and then put a shirt on. Same thing Justin Hartley. And in this show Tracker, somehow at this age, 10 something, 20 years later, this motherfucker shirtless, still fitted, six pack and everything. I'm like, can I just have a life like that? Like just able to work and just work out? Cause every day I feel like working out, but I don't got the time. I miss my going tone, bicep curls, bench press, fucking incline. This man got a six pack is nothing. I bet you this man got some oil down like some wrestlers do. Because this man was glossy. I'm like, what the fuck? That's one. Well, 2, yes, this is all about this one acting person called Justin Hartley about the show Tracker. I literally just watch it for him. 2, the show was actually good. What I realized though, I don't know if there's a term for this type of shows, but the pilots are almost always the fucking same. is always this random town. This random cop, and it was always a girl or a guy. But then the main star is guy or girl. But they don't get friendly with the cops. But they're like a private PI that has a special set of skills, and then somehow they get entangled with the law enforcement, and then they have to work together to solve crimes now for the rest of the series.
So Jessica Jones, but with lawyers. Okay.
In this show, it's not lawyer.
Like
It's like some type of state troopers, because they're in the forest. So like state troopers type of cop show and everything. That's literally a paint by numbers in so many fucking shows I've watched that are like this by their pilots. It's like me realizing this, working in production and noticing the script. It's like, geez, I can't wait to talk to my friends about this, about scripts and everything, because it's literally paint by numbers. All shows start with a random PI type of character that knows like a special set of skills, how to find dead bodies, how to read the prints in the forest, knowing about the 8-inch or 12-inch foot boots. How do we find this from force A position to all the way across 200 yards? How do we get there, and how do we find them there? But somehow this one person has those type of special set of skills, and it always works with cops.
I'm not gonna lie.
Never fit in with the cops.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Then by episode 7 or 8, they're still fucking the cops.
Seriously?
Yeah. Already by episode 2, episode 3 in the show Tracker, he's already having drinks by the end of the episode with the cop girl.
Yeah, now you make me think like Lucifer's kind of like that too. Yeah, Lucifer's kind of like that too. So
Lucifer, exactly. That's a great example. Shows like Lucifer, Tracker, is literally Lucifer. All he does is gets the criminals to use his powers to say, "Hey, what did you do? I killed this guy. You see, I got you, the guy. I am the devil. I get to tell them that they are the bad guys, and you catch them. We're a great team. Bitch, you don't do nothing. Yeah, I know. I just get to I just get to hang out with you. By the way, that's one show I need to finish. I left off in season 2. I need to finish that show. I love Lucifer. He's a great actor. Man knows how.
Watkins, you're gonna have to hold me back because this man is behind on fucking everything. Even my girls I had on this show, and I had never finished. I don't know, watched episode 1, but you know when you're just passing through here and there, and you're just watching. Through oh, you know what's interesting?
Look. I would hold you back, but this man has yet to watch episode 7 of Don to Don.
Oh, so you're gonna let me rock?
Go after him. Get him. Get after him.
You already know. I want to get him. Watch it.
Look. For Lucifer, I'm gonna say this. Me and my wife were watching that one, so that was a team effort, and the reason we slowed down Lucifer is because that is at fault for network TV. Network TV was at fault on that one because they repeat the storyline for one episode, then 3 episodes later they repeat the same storyline, and you'll be like, but you just did the character progression 2 episodes ago. Why do we need to start again here? And that was mostly of season 2 and 3, and that got me annoyed. I blame Fox for that.
You know what? That's a valid point.
I don't like to watch network TV no more, and even older ones when they repeat the same storylines, it gets annoying after a while now. That's why I never got to finish Burn Notice.
Oh, that was a show. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I forgot about that show.
That rings a bell. Wow.
Oh my god.
Because I was gonna say this for our Otaku Big News, but anybody excited for Suits? With Stephen Amell, and we're gonna have the guy who played Harvey Specter coming back for a 3-episode arc.
I have not personally seen it, but I will admit, there have been so many clips of it on social media this year alone that I've seen it, and I just generally am just so curious. I might just binge the whole thing and see how deep this rabbit hole goes, to be honest.
Wait,
I don't think it's a bad show. Yeah, I've
watched Suits.
I know it's great. I know it's great.
Oh, that's just solid.
100%.
Mike Ross is literally me. Like, I am Mike Ross. I feel like that is... Mike Ross is amazing. I wish I could be Harvey Specter. Like, that man, his charisma is unbound.
Yeah. If there's a man who has, like, Riz, like, really Riz, that's the guy I would say. 100% Harvey has it.
I won't call it Riz on mine. I would call it Chad more on mine. In the slang term, I call it he's the Chad, Harvey Specter. Watkins, if you haven't watched Suits, if you ever have the downtime to watch it, I recommend to watch Suits. If you like lawyer show and like sophisticated lawyer language in a business type of network TV show scripted, this is your show.
Look, I don't mean to talk shit to my co-host, but says the one who has behind how many shows I can count. I have Alia does not hide her feelings in Russian. I have Don technically.
Look, we don't need to repeat the list.
I'm just gonna point out my version of television is Ed, Ed and Eddie. So I mean,
Wow.
a lawyer suits. Nah, I'm good. And I'll go back to my Invincible Fight Girl, which is premiering every single week on Toonami at 12 a.m. on Saturdays, 9 a.m. on Max the next night. See, plug.
That is a good plug.
Watch it.
Watching Suits. I say go for it. For anybody that hasn't, watch Suits. I'm excited for Stefan Amell to have his new show coming out in February, I think, next year.
There we go.
I'm excited. I'm thrilled and a Harvey Specter. I'm happy you're back, baby. I can't wait to see the Riz/Chad version of him. Crash, how about you? Any other thing that you have watched other than was it he said off the bench? Challengers is the other thing.
So if again for you guys who may or may not know, we do have a separate podcast called Off the Bench where we do talk about the latest anime and season going on. Definitely give that a watch. You could definitely hear me and Vash's crazy takes on the latest anime that I was releasing. The last episode on that podcast I did speak about me watching the movie Challengers featuring Zendaya. And that kind of relates a little bit to what you were talking about with like Tulsa King. She carried that movie. He's carrying that show. The other characters I can give a shit about. Same for the other TV series, which is fair. Besides that, I'm really watching just the same old anime. Trying to catch up on everything. What I will mention real quick is a movie that I did mention to Jokester, I believe, last episode, but it wasn't really brought up on the show. It was a movie, came out right on, I believe, Halloween or the day before. It's called The Deliverance. It's a horror suspense movie. It's on Netflix, an hour 52-minute long movie. And
Deliverance. Is that the one where they like go into like the backwoods or something?
No. So
okay, I might be thinking of something else then.
It takes place in Detroit, if I'm not mistaken, or Atlanta.
Okay.
It's some ghetto spot. I'm gonna
okay.
really.
Okay.
I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this movie. But it was in a really ghetto location, and pretty much the house is haunted. A ghetto family moves into it, and you're just seeing the struggles of a minority family go through it as they get possessed by this evil demon. And now this random person, this random priest, tells the lady that I can save your family from damnation, but you gotta believe in Jesus Christ. And of course, the lady's like, "Who the hell are you? Get the fuck away from me!" Outright. So the family keeps getting possessed. The mom realizes that she has to save the family, so she goes into this very, very quick adventure to like save the family, believe in the Lord, to push the demon away. And let me just say, I already had been told by Walkins in advance that the movie was trash. So of course I go watch it regardless, knowing this, with my girl and and her friends. And I wish I had listened to him outright and just skipped it overall. It's a movie I couldn't skip, when you're with family and friends at the house. But it was a complete fucking waste of time. It was the stupidest shit I could.
Wait, what movie? Which movie was this?
The Deliverance. The Deliverance.
Oh, okay, all right. I was like, wait, what? What? I recommend?
Let me just say, and I don't care if there's spoilers saying this, but when you just start believing in Jesus Christ and saying repent to the demon and Latin music, every gamer knows when you're beating the boss of something and you beat him and you feel so good after like 70 tries, and then Latin music starts playing in the background and he comes up with full HP, you're like, shit, here we go again. This is exactly what it was in the movie. This lady had no chance of living. She should have died and then some. And then she just says the words, I believe in you, Jesus Christ. And then the Latin music comes out of nowhere. And I shit you not, a whole ray of light hits this demon. And all you hear is, and it dies. That's all it takes. In 2024, that's all it takes? Really? Just one fucking yes. I believe. Like there's no context, there's no backup, no fights. That's it. Just I believe in dead, and that's how it ends. And there's a little thing where the state is involved. She loses her kids. It says at the end of the movie she gets him back like a couple months later. So it's like all's well that ends well, with a twist that the house is still haunted, gets demolished, but to this very day, they still hear things coming from the area of that house.
Yeah, no. All right. So I added it to my list as you were saying all of that because as you were saying everything, I saw the little description at the bottom and it said inspired by true event. And I'm like, already, I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, give me this trash right now. Give me some trash.
So
I love it.
I will say, the actresses in the movie was very interesting to see the least. Omar Epps, a very good actor. He plays in House. If anybody has watched House before, I did not expect him at all to be in this kind of movie at all. But my man grew a beard, goatee, whatever you want to call it,
Nice.
facial hair, and I'm just like, damn, this man has grown a bit. And to see that he's still, you could say a little player, trying to get the mother, Alberta, who plays as Glenn Close. Shout out to her too. She didn't have to act like a hoe, but she was a hoe, showing her tits and everything, to everybody. That kiss scene in the middle of the party. I'm not gonna say much about it, but damn, my boy in for the kill. Me personally, I'm a horror guy. I like horror. I want to be jump scared. I want to be immersed, with the spook. But what I will say is these last years of horror flicks have been really disappointing to me personally. The only good, decently thing I will say has come out that I genuinely enjoyed was Halloween, like the remake that came out a couple years back. The first
the
one
trilogy?
Yeah, I saw the first. I haven't seen the other two. I don't know what happens, but I would generally say I liked it. The very ending of that really got me, like me and my girl, at the edge of my seat, which I like that feeling. If I'm acting that way, edge of my seat's like, don't let this happen. That's saying that it's doing its job right as a movie. This movie, I'm just kind of like, what the fuck, bro? If I'm seeing a young possessed boy climbing the walls like he's fucking Spider-Man, I'm sorry, you're doing something wrong. Like even Joseph said himself, why is Spider-Man in this movie? He said it right, and I didn't believe him. So you know what? Goes to show, sometimes you gotta listen to your co-hosts, even me with my trash takes. I'm telling you, this movie is trash, but it wasn't bad trash. It could have been better, but I gave it a 7 out of 10. Definitely recommend it. Challenges were a lot more better, though. I would choose challenges any day. Scenes and daggers, cheeks claps. But no, this movie was not it.
Nah, like that sounds like the fun kind of trash that I can be into, like
oh no, yeah.
Give me that kind of shit.
The biggest takeaway, and we were talking about it too, me and Jokester, was the very first maybe 20-30 minutes scene was the little boy drinking milk. And I didn't understand it until the second, like we had to rewind it because I had to understand that part. So the boy's lactose intolerant. And right before he's farting in the room, so his brother and sister are like, "Oh, what the fuck's that smell? It stinks in here. Like I'm gonna die. I have no air." And then the next scene goes where it's the middle of the night. Boy wakes up. He walks to the fridge and he starts drinking milk, and he's chugging the shit out of this milk so hard, and he's spilling it all over the floor, right? And Jokester's take on that was like, "Damn, that's a lot of milk he's drinking for like good 20-30 seconds. You're just watching this and he's just chugging like, damn, how much milk is in that carton?" My take on it when I first saw it was, damn, if I was poor, I'm very Spanish, if I waste anything in my fridge, my mom would slap the shit out of me with a chancla. Don't waste anything. Don't waste, because there's starving kids in Africa, this and that. So my take on that was, he's spilling all the milk on that floor. That mom is gonna beat the shit out of him. Next scene, it's like nothing fucking happened. And then I didn't understand it until like maybe 30 seconds later. I'm like, wait, he drank milk. He's lactose intolerant. Why is he drinking milk? And then I realized, oh, so he's possessed. And then when he goes back to bed, these kids are gonna fucking smell like shit when they go to school. I feel so bad for them. So it goes to show you gotta pay attention to those little details about that movie. But didn't really care for it. No, it took me a minute to figure it out. Like if I can't get it in the first try, damn.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
But yeah,
I
besides that,
won't.
just remember anime.
I won't ever be checking it out. That's for one thing for sure. That won't ever be happy on my end. But I was gonna say, if you do want to check something out, not a plug, not sponsor, Paramount Plus, no, Disney Plus. Deadpool Wolverine is on Disney Plus now. If you want to watch that right now, Deadpool Wolverine is on Disney Plus. But this is not what I'm bringing up. For anybody, have you guys seen their commercial or ad for Interior Chinatown?
No, I have not. No.
Nope.
It's been all over my timeline on IG, and I believe mostly IG. Go check that out.
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. Yes, I have seen some of it. Yes.
Okay, Watkins. It's check, see if you've seen it.
I'll check it out.
Interior Chinatown. It's on Hulu and Disney Plus. It's made by Fox, I believe. Or no, I believe it's just Hulu only. Yes. I might actually check that out. I think it has like 8 episodes or something. Let me actually see. Oh, 10 episodes. And it's with the same girl from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Chloe Bennett.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Jimmy. He's a great comedian. I do love his work. I know his father. Quick side tangent. I don't think anybody. He's spoken about it, but if you're not familiar with, the comedian, his father, kind of like looked at him like, "Oh, I could do what you do so easily." A very old Chinese man. He's like, "No, you can't. It's really hard being in the showbiz, being a comedian, being an actor." He's like, "Oh, I could try." So because of his connections, his father was able to get into a TV series, a very famous TV series, I believe in China or somewhere outside the US, and it was very successful. Like they love him over there.
And his father was like, "What you talking about? This is hard. This is easy. Because look what I did."
It took me years, and you first try, it's like, yeah, it sounds like a skill issue, Papa. But
if my father ever told me that like it's a skill issue, I'll be like, Dad, I got you with my connections. My connections is what got you, not you only.
You got the.
And
like,
you
got the in. I put the work. You went in. You cut the line.
And I, as the father, he would be like, "And who brought you into this world? Me. So therefore, I'm the captain. I brought you here. This
I am
all
the
me."
captain now.
But that's why I really want to give that shout out to the show, because Interior Chinatown, I am planning to watch it because of 2 reasons: Chloe Bennett and because of Jimmy Woo. For that reason, for them too. So I really want to support it. It's nice to see the representation and to see an Asian man talking about him being an action star, but then by the beginning of the show he doesn't know how to do kung fu or any type of action, but then by the end he's doing a lot of action scenes. So it's very funny how they play to the stigma, but then they kind of change it up a bit. So it's kind of very funny in that way.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. I can't wait to hear your take on it when you finish it.
Yeah, I think it just dropped a couple days ago as the all new series, like all episodes drop. So I really do want to try to binge it because I am really curious about the Interior Chinatown. I've been slacking on my TV show, so I really want to put more force into it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
But you know what is good to talk about? A lot of projects are coming out. A lot of things are being planned for the future. So what does that mean? The Otaku Big News Buzz Central. It's the pulse of our Anime Lately podcast. To get ready to dive into the latest buzz, hottest news, and our spirited opinions on everything entertainment. So right before we jump into everything within our small news pocket, I want to know 2 questions to you guys. Did you know about this movie called Wicked that's coming out with Ariana Grande?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
based off the musical Wicked.
Yeah. So telling you this, guys, I like 3 days ago, I'm gonna say, not saying I didn't care about this film, but it was not on my radar to go watch it. 3 days later, I want to know more about it and watch it. The behind the scenes, the interviews I've been looking into, there was no CGI in this film. no CGI.
What?
It
What?
was almost to 0% of CGI. That's what a lot of the marketing and that behind the scenes I've been watching, and from what I've been looking, is they're saying that it's about 10% of CGI. The green train, they planted 9 million daisies and flowers to actually do a lot of the pan shots and everything. So it shows a lot of the dedication of this adaptation of the musical into a movie.
So like the
I'm
tower.
taking that. I'm taking that news with a grain of salt. Like,
Oh
Yeah,
no,
I
from what
the
my
biggest,
research,
like truckload.
from my research and
like-
everything, it seems to be true. Like, not saying, of course, not 0%, but out of this whole movie, not even 100%, 80 or 70%. From what I've done my research, it's close to 10 to 30% of only CGI in this whole film.
30% is more realistic.
No, but still,
I mean,
that is pretty shocking in today's world, 2024, in movies for that. And also, this movie is supposed to be like a Alice in the Wonderland, not Alice in the Wonderland, like the Wizard of Oz type of style of the Green Witch and everything. And with the background and everything, it's very hard to really like. Wow, they didn't chose to do CG. Like they build all these sets. Like they really build a lot of these sets out there, most likely already in Georgia and everything.
I personally have not seen the musical. I know a lot of people who
Yeah.
have.
I have not seen it either.
So
I'll send the
well,
clips that
it's-
I've seen online.
Yeah.
I'll send the clips on the Discord server and everything and posted it because it's very interesting to see the marketing about this. As somebody who didn't care about this movie on the radar, I want to know like the whole hype about it. And I have friends that I've been speaking to that loves movies like these and that loves musicals. So they've been telling me about it and they send me clips and just finding out Ariana Grande of how they actually sang the co-stars and how they got in close and how much effort they did in this film. At first, I never thought I'd care about this film. Now I'm actually intrigued to maybe want to watch it.
Well, the film's basically excuse me. Well, like the musical is basically just a backstory of the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz, and like it kind of makes her. You know what they tried to do with Maleficent, trying to make her a good person and all that.
Yeah,
they kind of do that with the Green Witch, the Wicked Witch and all that, but a little better, and. Yeah, so that's basically like the rough, quick synopsis of what this is gonna be. Now, I also heard something else too, so I don't know if you saw this in your research. Apparently, this is only covering half of the musical.
yes, that's what I heard.
Really?
Which I'm a bit confused because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how long this musical is of The Wicked was. I don't know.
Well,
Like,
that's the thing. Musicals can be pretty long. They can be like 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
And like, because I saw somebody's tweet earlier. They were just like, "Huh, I was wondering why people were leaving during the intermission. Even though there were credits playing and all that. Like, and that's when I got like my hint. I was just like, oh, they're only covering half of it.
It's
Not
Into
even
the
fuck?
Spider-Verse type of shit, saying come back in
Yeah.
2 years type of thing.
So the musical is 2 hours and 45 minutes long, including a 15-minute intermission. So
Yeah.
I've watched Broadway musicals before. Like I'm a little familiar with how like shows these work. If you're not if you don't have a good attention span to watching these kind of things, don't bother going watching it. It's really really not worth your time. But unless they're gonna make a second movie or Wicked 2 to finish it off,
I'm assuming they are. If that's the case, like
From what I can tell, most likely because they put a lot of effort in this, and I assume they want to bank on a second film. So from what I can tell, it seems like it will be a home stretch if they they succeed in it. Because from the marketing, from the promotionals, from the things I've seen, it seems like a lot of stuff they've been putting the work in, like the art. Like the art department did a fantastic job. The cinematography did amazing. I honestly couldn't tell that was Ariana Grande. Honestly, at first I couldn't tell that was her. I felt like girl lost a lot of weight, but I just don't. I don't really observe her a lot in her career in recent years, so that's on me. So once I found out that was actually her, girl, her dresses and like the ads and the promotion interviews has been nice. So I'm really curious about it. Best of luck for the film. I don't know too much about it of the Wicked musical, but I found out more information during this whole segment.
Yeah. And like I saw something too, and I mean, again, take some of this with a grain of salt too, or like a truckload or a bucket load, whatever. But like I did see a screenshot of a Rotten Tomatoes score of it, and it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
So it's getting some good reviews, it seems like. So that's
IGN gave it a 9, I believe, which I'm shocked.
I believe that's all that too. Yeah. I think I posted it myself too.
Yeah, you did, which I was impressed. So, like, IGN actually give high scores. That is what's the word? Preposterous? I forgot the.
It's inconceivable.
Yes, that one.
I mean, if IGN and Rotten Tomatoes are neck and neck with same score, you must know someone is telling the truth.
Yeah, like, hey, if Rotten Tomatoes is a 9 right now, like a 90, and then you're giving IGN a 9, like, okay, so it must be like we're hitting the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, in that case, then, right? I'm going based off perspective, just like if the scores are like that, I'm not even gonna pay to mind the idea of the CGI, right? Because at that point, if you're telling me that information, what even is the point? Like, I'm there for the story now. Like, as somebody who's not even watched the musical, I want to know about the origin of the Witch of the West. Like, what's her story? What does she bring to the table that I don't know about the Wizard of Oz?
I'm confused myself because when I saw the trailer, it was two girls. Like, it kind of reminded me of Wednesday, because from the trailer they roomed together in a boarding school, in a school where Ariana Grande's character has the whole room, and then her roommate is the Green Witch, but she gives the closet type of space for the Green Witch, and then they go from there. So I'm like, oh, what the fuck is it, like a magic school, like Hogwarts? I didn't know that.
Hold on. All right, hold on. For context, at least for me, you guys haven't seen Wizard of Oz, or
it's been
the original. I've seen
the original, but like it's been like 20 something years or something.
Yeah. So that's basically what the musical does. It kind of flips it, because like you have the Good Witch in Wizard of Oz. That's who this other girl is. That's the Good Witch from that movie.
Yeah.
And so, like, again, like origin stories and all that, but like it kind of flips it, and it kind of shows you like, okay, this is what happened to the Wicked Witch, why she's wicked, and why she became basically a bitch to everybody, So it's like, it's kind of like that, just flipping the sides of everything. So like, it's been a hot minute since I've seen the musical, so take a lot of what I say very carefully, because of memory and all that stuff, but like I do remember it being pretty good, so I'm looking forward to the movie. Hopefully they adapt it well. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
The last thing I was gonna bring up right before we get into our MCU trailers is Gladiator. That's another big movie that's coming out of this month, with our boy Denzel Washington and Pedro Pascal. That's one movie I'm gonna be seeing myself this weekend, so I'm very excited to see Gladiator 2. I have seen Gladiator 1 fucking years ago, so I'm about to rewatch it tomorrow right before I go see Gladiator 2. I'm thrilled just because of the fucking Denzel Washington memes we've been getting from his interviews that he's been doing. The most recent one has been a meme already about him just telling advice to the interviewer, asking him a question, and him just spilling knowledge, just like advice of a guru. And it was beautiful, just him being so organic and saying, I'm your therapist, I'm right here, we're all about it. And his advice was so impactful that it kind of felt like it healed her, and then it's being reposted by like everyone else, like, hey, this is amazing, go check this out.
Yeah. And I don't know if you want to bring this up now, since
Go ahead.
Did mention Denzel, but we did get some news last week, or rumors or whatever, that like, including like Gladiator 2 and like this next batch of movies, apparently he's going to be retiring after these.
Yes.
So that was some news rumors going around last week. So I guess, I mean, what do we think about that going on?
With Denzel retiring, I'm okay because he said that he has about 5 more projects. So that's like, let's say for anybody that works in the industry, that's like 2-3 years each. So that's still the next 10-12 years he'll be retiring as acting. He said that he still wants to work in the industry, meaning be behind the camera, direct. So he wants to be more of a chill job. For anybody that is a consumer, even acting from the camera like we do, podcasting, doing content for YouTube. Per se, we're not acting, but we're giving you a personality on screen that's more of an emphasis from what is our daily life. When you're acting on a movie or TV show, you're changing your persona and you're becoming a different person as one. It takes a lot out of you. Sometimes when you become the character, that's why some people goes a bit crazy, or sometimes they're gets too much. Was it when you get too much into the character of the Joker? I remember the guy from Joker.
You're talking about like when they do like method acting or whatever?
Method acting. So a lot of people do that. Okay. So it's very tough to transition out. So I get why Denzel already has a goal. The same thing like Jim Carrey. We spoke about I think behind the scenes. Jim Carrey literally said, I'm retired for acting, but I will come back for Sonic 3. I will come back for that. This man literally said, I'm done Hollywood. You will never find me again. But I'll come back for Sonic 3. Maybe Sonic 4, Sonic 5, Sonic 6. He literally will come back for these films. But for any other, he would like, don't call me. Y'all don't need me. I am done. So I love that for Denzel. Congrats to him. I'm happy. And also, we're going to get him in Black Panther 3. Ryan Coogler literally said, I'm writing a role for Denzel Washington.
Hell yeah.
Once Ryan Coogler said that, he's like, hey, I'm going to make this specific role for him. What is it? Don't know. What will it be? Don't know. We will find out.
If he acts like anything like an American Gangster, and shout out to that movie, it's an all-time classic. If you want to see Denzel at his peak, acting to his full potential, that is a movie I highly recommend. Definitely. I don't care if even that rumor is like a true or false. I would beg, please, like if he had like a couple more movies, and one of those movies Black Panther 3, first off, I didn't ask for that movie to come out anyways. I think 2 just ended up the way it is. But if 3 comes out and he's in it, fuck it. You know what? He has to bring something to that table. He has to. You know, like that. It's Denzel Washington. Come on, like what? I'm just genuinely curious to see what he could like bring into a Marvel project like that.
I would love to see him
same here.
And plus on Baku just have a scene, just him in a Baku just have a scene. I don't know what will be, but just having Baku like, I had a fisherman here, now I have you. What are you?
I will say, going back into Gladiator 2, I don't know if you guys had heard about it too, but they were talking about edited and deleted scenes. There was a scene that they cut off because they thought it was very provocative, where he kisses a man straight in the lips and everything, like, come kiss me in my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantic.
Look, the most funniest thing about that is I was out with my friend, and the most funniest is that we had like a 20-minute conversation about Denzel. And it was literally the most funniest is that like Denzel is already past his age. This man literally said,
how old is he anyways?
I don't know. We have the intern. Give me a second. I will search.
Hey Siri, how old is Denzel Washington?
69 years old.
69.
Wow.
69 years old.
Nice.
So nice as well. It's funny how this man literally comes on a press coverage and literally saying, yeah, I kissed a guy. It happened. But I heard they cut the scene, and I'm like, is he sad they cut the scene? Is he sad that he got a kiss? It happened, but we're never going to see the light of day, but he's going to market it? Like, I wonder what's his goal plan about it. Like, why tell us if we're not going to see it now? Why, like, is this a marketing plan to make us go see the movie just to find out where was it supposed to be?
See,
And
what
who did
I'm
you
gonna
kiss?
do
Like, was it Pedro
is-
Pascal kiss? Or like, who was this?
this is gonna get the internet outraged enough where they're gonna, protest just like they did. We mentioned Sonic earlier. It's just gonna be just like what the internet did with Sonic. They're gonna protest about it, demand that the scene is in there, and then eventually the people are gonna be like, all right, you know what? Fuck it, we'll put the scene back in there and help all of us. But in reality, it was to help market the movie.
I think personally, he was very smart to bring it up. I think it was a waste of a scene, but for the sake of everyone being very sensitive about a lot of things, you gotta keep taking consideration. If it makes sense to put into the movie, by all means, go ahead. If it doesn't, we got the DVDs. They'll probably have deleted scenes there. We could always watch it there. Somehow, some way, it's gonna end up on the internet one way or another.
You're gonna give me my Denzel Washington just making out with a man on screen. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the context is. This man said, like, yo, it's on the script. We're in the Coliseum. We're back in the 1600s. We're fighting gladiators. I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
1600s.
I forgot.
1600s.
800s?
I don't think Rome was still alive in the 1600s, my boy.
Oh.
I don't think Rome was still alive in the 1600s, my boy.
I'm just throwing a random year. I forgot what gladiator
AD
took
or
place.
BC.
Exactly. AD or BC. One of those time. I forgot what year was it. I said a random year. You know what? Just throw me off the cliff. Put me on the board. Put me on the ship.
First you were talking about Justin Hartley earlier with all his abs and oiled up and all that. Now you're talking about wanting to see Denzel's gay kiss and all that. Look.
Well,
I'm not gonna judge or
he
anything.
marketed it.
Just,
I'm like to know
look.
what was the game plan, Denzel? Was it at least good for you, my G? You're 69. You had a good time, I hope. But hey, right before we transition for Denzel, I do want to say the interviewer asked, "What advice do you have for other people?" He said, "Don't rely."
Kiss a guy.
Yeah, kiss a guy. Like
Kiss a guy.
No, it was learn to act on stage. Don't rely on social media. 3, put it down, turn it off, and shut up and be quiet. Learn and read and relax. And get better. And that is the first part of your life. And the second part of your life is to earn. And the third part of your life is to return. Good advice.
Words.
Good
Wise
advice.
Words.
You gotta know how to be wise and smart at that
Doesn't
age
hurt to kiss a man.
of being 69.
I think the fourth person was kissing, man.
But with that,
social media.
But with that transition, the MCU trailers we got to talk about on the Disney Plus. We have Captain America: Brave New World coming out on February 14. We have the Disney Plus releases its trailer for the 2025 shows, including Daredevil, Ironheart, Andor season 2, The Bear season 4, and a few others on Hulu. And What If season 3 trailer. And Game of Thrones movie is in the works. Very early process, even though that's under the MCU trailers. But yes.
Yeah, whatever.
God of War, when are you coming out?
Boy.
Look. Honestly, out of all this news, the one thing that was not added that hurt my soul that was not added, it was the How to Train Your Dragon live action trailer was released, and it actually looked amazing. Toothless, it looks great.
It looked just like the anime.
It did. It did. Pin by numbers.
Literally, shot for shot. Literally, just the animated movie. I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm just like,
what's the difference?
What? Why? Why is this happening? Why is this a thing? Why does it need to? Can we just no? That I don't want to get into the
look. Exactly.
Action.
That's a whole different conversation that we could even bring up later. But the How to Train Your Dragon actually did get me hype. Because how it looked cool. Forgot his first name, but his last name is Powwow. First name John Powwow. I think that was the guy that played Hiccup's father. He was amazing. The voice, and to see
Mhm.
him as a live action is fucking fantastic. Like he knows how to
Yeah.
portray Hiccup's father amazingly.
Yeah, I mean the performances seem fine. It's just again why.
Hey, it just has to depend how we see
Just
the other
why.
dragons. But Toothless look good.
Yeah.
Everything
Toothless
else.
did look good. Yeah.
The guy that played Hiccup literally looked like Hiccup, so it was also like paint by numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
when it comes to the actual MCU trailers to Game of Thrones movie in the works, I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I haven't seen the prequel, so I can't have too much thoughts or excitement for it. For the fans,
Same here.
good for you guys. For Captain America, not saying that I'm not excited. I just want to watch it. I want to see Red Hulk. No. Not saying that I'm not excited. It's just that
Mhm.
we have such a weird Captain America 4, and then after that, in the end of the year, we're gonna have Thunderbolts. So I'm really curious to see how Captain America 4 and then Thunderbolts lead off to each other, since what happens in Cap 4 kind of ripples into effects for this next film of Thunderbolts. So I'm very curious to see how that's gonna lead into one another. But I'm excited for Cap 4 for the Disney Plus releases.
Mhm.
But Captain America versus, Red Hulk and everything, that's interesting. The politician stuff that's gonna be happening, with the Soviet Accords, that everything that led up to where it's now. So I'm really curious to see how everything's gonna untangle in that movie. So of course, Crash, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I'm just more curious to see where everything's gonna lead up to.
I'm gonna give you a very crazy take real quick, you guys, and
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna upset a lot of people saying it, but I feel like this kind of movie has been done too many times. I'll even go to say it has been done similarly
Mhm.
in previous Captain America movies. The only difference is we're going based off, what happened after Eternals. We got, the new island that came out, with the God, the name's coming out of my. It's there, but it's not in my head. But the I
Eternals.
don't want to say Titan. Yeah. I'm not saying Titan, but the thing
Oh,
that
like
came
the
out of the Earth.
Galactus people or
Thank you, the
whatever. Yeah,
Galactus. Thank you.
the hand thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it came out and everything, right?
I think his name is Imman 2, I think is his name.
Him is something. I know everyone's gonna kill me in the chat, but the concept of what's going on, with the espionage, you can't trust anybody, has been done, and I get that you want to add something like that in a theme with Captain America. That's not what I'm looking forward to. I don't care about the fight with Captain America, the new Captain America, and Red Hulk. I even heard the rumor that maybe the actual Green Hulk might be in there. We'll see. I don't really care for it. I don't care for the new Falcon. I care more for this supervillain, this new antagonist that's coming out that a lot of people don't know much about, because he, in the comics, is not generally a huge villain. He's more of a shorter side villain. But what I'm curious about with him is what he's going to bring to the table going forward for more MCU stories, for more villain stories, because this specific villain ties into a lot of other side stories going on in Marvel comics. So I'm very curious to know, like, what kind of villain he's gonna be. If he's the villain we actually think he is, if it's a whole, like, we think it's him, it's actually somebody else entirely. Like, I'm just generally curious to know what's going on with this specific villain, who is played by John Carlos, I believe is his name. Espinoso.
Espesito.
Thank you, Esposito. I know I'm saying his name wrong. Amazing actor. I know he's gonna kill it. I can't wait to see how he plays this villain out in Brave New World, which comes out on Valentine's Day. Sorry to you, ladies. Definitely can't take you on Valentine's Day, but you know what? That day's gonna be with us and the boys.
I'm about to say, how about take me out? Valentine's ain't about the ladies too. Valentine's about the guys too. How about treat me out too? We get treated.
Boys.
It's my daytime.
Included.
It's my daytime.
The boys. Oh my gosh.
But hey, we can also forget Watkins. We got our boy, the Visionary, in this film as well. Seth freaking Rollins.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently he's in a mask, but he also denied it too. He's just like, that ain't me, man. And I was like, okay, fine, sure, whatever.
He's gonna be lying.
Good.
He's gonna be lying until the date the movie gets released. Like, Yeah, I was in it. Like, remember when Andrew Garfield lied about him being in No Way Home until the day of release?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, guys, I'm not there. That's old, VFX, CG, and
Just
everything.
Like, we know you're there. Look at the trailer you guys left. Oh, you guys edited out the other Spider-Man. Oh, we fucked up. Guys, you guys.
You saw Lizard getting punched in the trailer. It's like,
Yeah.
There he is. That's what's happening.
By who though?
Like,
Who?
come on.
Who hit him? Invincible person?
Marvel, you ain't slick. You need to get better with your editing because the internet can catch.
Here's the thing. Here's the
Just
thing.
don't show it.
Don't spoil shit. Yeah. Don't use that shot. Don't.
Oh, stop showing 25 different ads of the same different scene. Just 25 different angles. Not needed.
Yeah.
But hey, Captain America Watkins, you were saying.
Oh, it actually looks good. I'm looking forward to it. That basically my investment in the MCU anymore.
So then,
I'm actually gonna check it out.
Anybody excited for the Game of Thrones?
I don't give a fuck about it. I will say, I'm sorry about that. I will say, real quick. No, I will say before I forget. It is, it should be known, but just in case for people who are not into Marvel and have not, watched any of the TV series, it is recommended to watch The Falcon and Winter Soldier before watching Brave New World. To know about some characters coming into the movie. Do you want to know about that? If you don't, you might miss out on certain things, what's going on, why, the Falcon became Captain America, etc., etc. If you have watched Endgame, but it is recommended to watch it to at least have some idea, some notion going forward into this new movie.
I will read the wiki.
You have to.
Or you can watch the 6 episodes.
No.
They're very good.
That was during the time that MCU shows were shit.
Yeah, somewhere. But you know what's not shit? You know what is gold? You know what's great? You know what's called a masterpiece? Arcane League of Legends Season 1.
You threw me off. I was like, wait, what's he about to say? Hey, wait, what?
Damn. I'm guessing that one wasn't too obvious?
No. You threw me off so hard. I was like, wait, what?
You're good. You got this.
I'm about to say scare me with the time code right now. I just look at it like, hold up, we're 20 minutes off from that.
Yeah. No, we're good.
But hey, Chad, we're here for Arcane Season 1 review. Yes, you heard it. This is our last segment of the show. Next week, next episode 158, is Arcane Season 2. So that will be fresh. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So that will be a different structure. Since we're here 2 years late, let me give you a background introduction to Arcane. If you're unaware, guys, it was produced by Riot Games and Fortiche Productions. I believe it's a France studio?
French. Yes.
French.
It's in France, yes.
It's French, based on the League of Legends lore. I love how it says that because I can't wait to pass this question on to Crash. Based on League of Legends lore, streaming platform on Netflix, genre, fantasy, steampunk, action, and drama. I keep forgetting at times that steampunk is a genre now. But release date, November 2021, aka 2 years ago. That's just crazy. Oh no, 3 years ago.
3 years ago now. Three
years ago. Damn, wow, time flew. Brief overview for anybody that hasn't seen the show or wants to get a quick synopsis. Arcane follows the story of two sisters, Vi and Jinx, navigating their fractured worlds of Piltover and Zaun.
Piltover. Yeah.
Oh, good. Piltover and Zaun, showcasing the political intrigue, persona, vendettas, and emotional struggles. So, this is a mini segment of introduction to Arcane. Since Crash is the only one that has played the game, knows more about it, so I'm gonna have you last for this little mini segment. So Watkins, you're the one that actually binge it recently out of all of us. 3 years later, late in the game, what were your introductions to the series Arcane? Why were you so late? And do you ever regret your decision to jumping on to the late wagon?
I'm kind of glad I watched it now so I could, be part of the hype for season 2 and all that. So I'm happy with that, So do I regret waiting? No, I don't, because hey, now I get to watch season 2 fresh with everybody. Isn't that great? Word. I mean, it was fine. It was good. I really liked season 1, as a whole and all that. But yeah, I don't have too much to say at least at this point with everything. I mean, I think there's only one thing I really didn't care for. I was not I was not feeling the political shit. At times I was, but then like there were other times where like Jace would come on or like the other stupid council people would come on, and I'd be like, okay, can we stop? I don't give a crap about you guys. Let me go back to Jinx. Let me go back to Vi, Kate. Like, let me go back to those people because I don't care about you. I don't care about you at all. You're some little rich boy that like is like, oh, I discovered this thing with my friend, and we may or may not be lovers. I don't know yet, but like, I don't. I just did not care whenever like he was on. I'm just like, I just get off my screen. I don't care about you. Go away. Everything else was fine though. Like, I think my biggest selling point with this show was the animation. Like,
Yes.
like especially the bridge fight with Jinx and
And Echo.
Echo.
Short Round or whatever his name. Echo, yeah. I don't know why I said short
Sure.
round. But anyway,
That's what I'm saying with my intro. That's why I'm surprised you guys didn't get it in the beginning. Like my intro was that whole fight sequence. It was a pipe, but I'm saying yeah, that's what I meant.
yeah. But like, man, that scene just itself was really good, really well done. But like,
the slow motion, the cinematography, the sound effects of hearing each drop of the gun barrel dropping. I care for us to break that down in the episode breakdown, in the animation and visual, in the music sound design. We're gonna break that down. But to continue on the introduction to Arcane, I'm gonna go second. When I saw this 3 years ago on November 21, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, I saw it each week as they came out, because I've heard of League of Legends, like World of Warcraft, Minecraft. I've heard of all these type of PC games that's been out for many years, but I never jumped on the wagon. I've heard of League of Legends, just never got into it. I love animation. I love when series and shows become animation more to the lore. I've told Crash for the past 2-3 weeks on Off the Bench when he's spoken about called MF Ghost. Every time he talks about that show, I tell him during his segment, I'm like, they should make a fucking Speed Racer anime still. They should bring that back. The last one we had was 2008. Speed Racer anime will fucking be amazing in this current age of era in animation. The last time we had the lore of Speed Racer, his brother X. I was supposed to say that reverse.
Secret Brother X, mind you.
Thank you. I'm like, shit. I was supposed to say for anybody that have never heard of Speed Racer, minor spoiler, aka the hugest spoiler in the lore of Speed Racer.
Twist.
Don't worry, it's fine. It's fine. The only person that doesn't know is Speed himself. It's
right. It's okay. Everyone else knows. Have you told your brother yet? No, I haven't. When are you gonna tell him?
No.
Soon. Maybe. Never. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But then I'm gonna still hang out with him, beat him in every race, and do the same tricks I used to do as a kid. I have my brother, but do them as X. Oh my god. Anyway, Speed Racer anime should exist. Street Fighter anime should exist. Not Megatron. What's the Mega Man anime should exist. All these animes I'm talking about should have extra lore. So when it comes to Arcane, it's fucking amazing. It adds so much lore to the grander scheme of League of Legends. But I didn't know there was no fucking lore in the grander story of League of Legends, because I find out there's just only bios. There's no actual story. There's just bios within the characters that you get to find out the bio of the story of the character, the paragraph, 2 or 3 paragraphs, who knows.
Yes,
but introduction, the first 9 episodes, amazing. Each Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, we're gonna break it down: the childhood arc, the time skip arc, the climax arc. The way this ending, for anybody have already seen season 1, the way this ending literally ended right before Thanksgiving, or I think the week of, she extended a fucking bazooka to Pitover and literally said, "It is what it is, guys. If it explodes, it explodes." I'm like, bitch, it's gonna do more than that. It's gonna cause damage like none other. But then guess what? It fades to black. Show comes back, says season 2 will be coming. I'm like, okay, who knows when? 3 years later, we're here. Until this recording, guys, this is recording on a Wednesday. It will be out on a Thursday. I'm the only one that have not seen Act 2 yet. I mean, season 2, Act 1 or Act 2. The other two crew members already have seen Act 1/Act 2. So right now, I don't know what's been going on. I don't know what happened after the bazooka.
Shame.
Dude.
Shame.
Dude.
Shame.
Dude.
But, Crash, what's your introduction to Arcane for us to transition? What you have played the game, you know about it. Talk to us. Rapid fire.
Where can I even begin? I'll try to make this quick, because I do have League is a bit of my life. I want to first shout out my best friend Alex. He got me into the game in 2015. Going to college. I even have a bubble, a little Funko Pop that I keep on my desk every day for my first main that I started playing, Ash. It's gonna be blurry, sorry, but she was my first ADC, my first ever champion I ever played. I switched from, I'm gonna say a lot of these concepts and terms you guys may or may not understand. For people who do play League of Legends, you will understand me. I don't think much has changed since I stopped playing in 2020. I was an ADC main. I played Ash. I played Jinx. I played Tristana. I did play a lot of people back in the day, and then I switched to a support role. I love playing Sona, Lux, a lot of these support characters. But it was through my best friend that convinced me to start switching and playing other roles, because you can't just stick to just playing one role all your life. It is possible. A lot of people do it, but it's nice to adapt, to switch to other roles, because if you can't get what you want, it's better to be adaptable to flex to play other roles, which I got to the mid role. I played mid lane, a couple of champions. I did play Lux in that sense, and then I was introduced to Echo, and I played him for the first time, and I liked his concept, the boy who shattered time, and I just played him constantly, and he became like one of my biggest mains ever. I have met so many people throughout my life through League, close friends. I shout out to Michelle. May she rest in peace. She was a close friend who unfortunately did pass away through an illness. She supported me as the Hispanic assassin, that persona. She was always a good duo. Unfortunately, she was not able to see the new champions that has released. So she's also the reason why I have never watched the Assassin's Creed movie. A big, crazy tip that I can tell you guys. I don't plan to watch it anyways. I didn't hear it was that good regardless. Nothing against Michael Fassbender as an actor. I think he's amazing, but fuck it. It's just one movie. It's whatever. But, League, the memes about it is going crazy. You play an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Those games last forever. And then you're playing until 3 a.m. One more game, sure. And to chat, who is curious, my biggest elo I ever gotten, me personally, is gold. Shout out to my old teammates. We are not close anymore. I hope you guys are doing good wherever you guys are. But my Fairy Tail Telecom team, which I still haven't watched Fairy Tail. But hey, it's all good. I'm still haven't been caught up to One Piece either. But you guys, wherever you guys are, I did make it to gold. I did get good. That was our biggest catchphrase. The biggest catchphrase anyone would playing League. You gotta get good to get to higher elo. So. By myself, getting to gold with Echo, thankfully, and that was all by myself. I didn't need help. I always needed help to get to higher elo. With myself, to get to gold was the biggest accomplishment of my life. I remember, when COVID hit in 2020, I had the photo still on my phone. I got to gold. I screamed so loud. My girl didn't understand what it was, but to me, like, when people have told you that you're so bad at the game, you're so trash, this and that, or you'll never amount to getting into a higher elo, and then you work so hard to get up to it those countless nights until going to like 4 in the morning trying to get so high. Like, what can I do? What can I change? League is a big game which makes you be one of two things. You could be a very, very fun player, GG, well played, or you could be a very toxic player, get good, crash, talk really slang, whatever. Um, those moments I will never take for granted. I thank League for making me into the player that I am now. So passing all that to get to the point, hearing that Riot Games was going to bring out an animated show regarding League, I was genuinely surprised. I'm like, what could they bring to the table that I don't even know, like I wouldn't have known about, because I know a lot about the League, the lore, and the characters. And one specific idea, one specific theme always kept coming up with this show: the characters Vi and Jinx. And for you guys that have not played a game, the biggest rumor that always went around in this game is that Vi and Jinx are sisters. We don't see that analogy. We don't see that concept. How could these two people from two different places, Vi being from Piltover, and Jinx being from Zaun, could potentially be sisters? How is that possible? They don't look alike. They don't act alike. They're complete opposites. It's like a Tom and Jerry cat and mouse type of thing. Like the Batman and Joker. Like the heroes always chasing after the villain. How could this concept be to be? So you see the trailer, you see the idea of the orphans and everything happening, and you're like, ah, it makes you think as a player, like, what more is Riot hiding from us, the players, that we don't know about these characters that we're gonna find out? Then you see the side characters that we had mentioned: Jace, Heimerdinger, Echo, and you're just all like, oh, like this is a big thing that's happening. This big story. Like, it's not just like something surrounding these two characters. This is an origin story that will be remembered for years to come. And like Watkins said, it is thanks to the animation, because that like as much as I say I love a good story. I love a good story. Like, Vash said too, all I know from these characters are from the bios and from small little, like, events that come in with the game, maybe a hint or two here and there online. But what really gets to me with any type of kind of show is animation and stories. So the fact that the story itself started off great, like you starting off with this concept, to bring it in with one of the most expensive animations known to date on any kind of show, is mind-boggling. Like, the first season, I was speechless. 110%. Knowing what you know from the game going into the show helps out a bunch. And even then, these characters like Heimerdinger, Jace. I played a little bit of Jace myself at top lane. I've never played Heimerdinger, but I know enough about him. I played against him, so I know what is up. Saint, I hate Saint as a character in the game. If you know, he's so annoying with his poison. Characters like these make a difference knowing going in, and I'm so glad that I did play the game going forward. It wasn't a question I was going to ask Watkins, but to answer my own question in sense, watching Arcane the first season and even watching season 2, I would go back to playing the game again. I did stop playing after 2020. I did sell my PC to take care of some personal stuff myself, to better my health, my life. And it didn't work out for the best, because League is very time consuming, very, very time consuming. I have 450 to almost 500 hours on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I have spent countless hours. I have said it behind the scenes, but I spent thousands, and I rephrase say it, I spent thousands of dollars on League skins alone. I have almost, at the point in time of 2020, I don't know since then, I'm pretty sure they come out with a lot, because I know Riot, hashtag Rito, so much money on Lux skins. I have, my favorite skin to date is the skin with Echo, with the music video. God, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. But side tangent, my next tattoo that I'm going to get is going to be on my arm with Echo's sign from Zaun, the Z. I'm going to have that tattoo on my left arm. So I can't wait for that. I don't know when I'm going to get it, but potentially soon. But that's how much I love League of Legends. That's how much I'm so happy that they animated this show. Season 2 is amazing. But for the first season, watching it for the first time ever, it it was mind-boggling to say the least. There is no words. Riot Games have outdone themselves in so many ways. Their games already are amazing. Their animation is amazing, and I can't wait to see the next upcoming projects they release past Arcane.
Word. Word.
That is a beautiful way to say that about that transition. That if you love what you have seen from the game, adapt to the story, you see the lore to understand the key themes of family and sisterhood, power struggles, mortality, and choices. How characters, the decisions shape their paths, innovation and corruption, the role of Hextech, Shimmer in driving the progression and destruction. Out of these themes, what have been your favorite out of four season one? I will say mine is morality and choices, innovation and corruption. As much as I love the family and sisterhood, you get to see that in a lot of storytelling about the family, sisterhood, brotherhood. You get to see that in a lot of storytelling. It depends on which ones. But when it's done morality and choices of how a character decisions shape their path, Jinx is not the is not that she is bad luck. Her choices just has a bad type of domino effect when she chooses at the wrong time and wrong place. Everything started from season one, act one, when she chose to grab those blue fucking sparkle giant ticking time bombs that just
Mhm.
hits any type of wall or hits any type of kinetic force, explodes. And Jinx,
Yeah.
with her creative mind, just said, "Hey, let me just fuck shit up and just make shit worse." And because of
Mhm.
her mistake from season one, act one, episode one, it made her final mistake in episode three to get everyone killed and get everyone, even Vander, get in transmutation, everyone getting buried by a rock, and then her getting her twisted mind by her twisted mind into our boy Victor.
Yeah. I mean, I I think my one of my favorite themes from the show is the idea of I don't want to say it's the idea of family because like oh well like you said that happens in a lot of our media and all that, but like I guess with me with like tropes it's always about how they
It's done.
work with those.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like how they execute it. And with Arcane it does it really well because like when you first meet Vi, and at the time she's known as Powder, which I mean, first of all, who the fuck names their kid Powder? Like what were you on some powder when you conceived her or something? Like what the hell? But anyways, that's besides the point. So like already when you kind of meet them, at least in my mind, how I was interpreting it, it was almost like, oh, you you two are sisters in name. Like you're not like blood related sisters. You're like two girls who were like maybe came together because maybe you guys were already orphans or something. Or like, I mean, I think we had seen like Vi like reacting to like family being dying during whatever that raid was and all that. So it's like already you kind of get it, at least I got a sense of okay, you guys have a relationship like sisters, but blood related isn't there.
Yeah, for me,
So
it was like
mhm,
Ace and Luffy. It's like they're not blood brothers,
yeah,
but they're
exactly.
brothers by the sake.
Yeah, and like you keep getting that throughout the story because it's like okay, you look at Jace, it's like okay, he had some people, he had the backing of that one family. I think it was like Caitlyn's family, if I remember
Yeah,
Yeah,
correctly. Like he had their backing, and at first you think, oh well, him and Kate are gonna get along, they're gonna be all smoochy smoochy, lovey dovey, and all that. But like no, they kind of have like this brother sister bond now where he didn't have that. Like I mean I can't really recall seeing his family at all in the show. Again, I binged this, so like information came very quick.
of
So
course.
I was absorbing everything. But like you get
Well,
that from them, you get that from Vander, you get that from Victor when he picked up Jinx. Like, and I'll get into the Victor thing later, because that scene when he takes in Jinx at the end of episode 3, it's really good. It is
oh,
really, because you get everything you need to know about Victor in that scene alone.
and
It's
and I
done
think that
really
scene is
well.
like 20 up to 40 seconds. It's just straight
Mhm.
silence of a lot of analyzation. So I came forced to break it down in a bit. But
Yeah.
also to add, you brought Chase. Another of the thing I mentioned earlier, my other favorite theme is innovation and corruption. The role of
Mhm.
Hex Tech and the shimmering driving progression and destruction. Because of fucking Chase in his mind of wanting to progress like so fast,
Mhm.
and he was so impatient because of fucking seeing this as a kid about magic. He wants to recapture that one moment and bring it
Mhm.
back, but he is willing to sacrifice anything to accomplish that, even if it is sacrificing Caitlyn or the family name, or even the chick that he had a one night stand and then kind of
Mhm.
use her to get his own type of way.
Well, like such the cool thing about Jace as a character, because like he means well in everything he's doing. Like he wants to do good for the world. Like he wants to cure this disease and all that. He wants to help Victor and all that. So, yeah, Victor. Oh my god, I called Soko Victor earlier. Sorry about that, everybody. People are gonna massacre me in the chat, but that's beside the point. Um, like he's trying to help Victor and like he wants to do good, but again because of politics, corrupting his mind and corrupting his views and all that, he has to do these underhanded tactics to get what he truly wants. But like at the end of the day, he kind of loses that too. So it's like it's a very interesting story. Like I know I said earlier, oh, whenever they were on screen, I didn't really give a shit. But like Jace was the one I did care about, because I'm just like, you know what? I can see your story. I see like the depths that you're. I don't want to say he's willing to go to, but that he's kind of resolved himself to go to, because it's like, okay, I have to do this. I have to, kind of work with this one girl that I slept with and had a one night stand with. But you know what? She's kind of cool. She's kind of cute. She's got this cool story too, and all that. But it's like I can use that to my benefit as well. So like again, he's getting more corrupted as we keep going and all that. Like his story just in general is really good, you know.
How about you, Crash? What has been your favorite theme out of this season one? Is the one that I listed that's not there? Is the one that really attracted you throughout this whole season? That was it? Or was it like our boy Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto about family?
It's been.
Can I choose them all? Really?
I mean, you
uh,
can.
uh,
It could choose them all. They're all great. Like unless they're all the four main ones. Power struggles is great. But like the two ones that hit me, it was number 3 and 4. Morality and choices. Like you trying to choose as any person on a daily life. If you choose this, would this affect me tomorrow? Yes. If you don't choose this, would this still affect me tomorrow? Like, all this thing or choices that mess up. And Jinx and Vi did choices that affected them years later in the time skip. And then even to the climax by the end of the season, Jinx had no regrets of throwing the fucking rocket. All that. She said, fuck it. This was a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I'm going to look back at it at a perspective when I first started watching it, what I and again I always repeat this to you guys all the time. I love a good story. This first season was by far a great introduction to these characters and to how they became to be legends in the game. It's hard for me to personally say one is better than the other because realistically, all four of these themes intertwine with one another. The family aspect is shown all around. You guys bring up a great point that you really see a lot of Jace's family. I believe his mother was shown or taught spoken about.
Might have been,
I,
yeah.
yeah, I haven't seen season one. I got the recap, but it's been a while since I've seen it. 3 years is a very long time, but the aspect of family is really important in this aspect because you don't get family in a bio, like in the game. You want to see what made the person who they are today. You see Caitlyn coming from the Kirkman family, being this very high stage family, their title and everything, in Piltover. It's cool to see that, you have maybe heard about their status in the game, but now seeing it, animated in, an actual real time is so nice.
Yeah.
The sisterhood aspect, everyone wants to know, like, yeah, like, are they sisters, are they not sisters, what's the mystery behind it? So it's nice to see that. I am going to be realistic and really be the opposite perspective from you, Watkins. I actually did like the power struggle. I actually did like
Mm.
the politics behind everything, because you know there is a war going on,
Right.
behind the scenes with Noxus. Piltover is, a very technological country, you could say, area that deals with a lot of, building new wonders. You also have Zon, which is, their garbage city, like what they don't like, what they don't need, throw away, is what Zon is. It's a part of Piltover in that sense, since it's in the same, area. But it's where the people who didn't make it in Piltover go, if you got banished or something, or just technologies that were just stupid or didn't make sense, get recycled over. That's where Zon comes from. That's where these
Mhm.
orphans like Vi and Jinx come from. So in a sense, they are, a part of Zon. They're not just a part of Piltover too. Um, and to see that, like, they are separated, like Piltover thinks they're better than Zon just wants to be a part of them. It's nice to see the aspect in, the hierarchy of, like, who is beneath, who is lower, the idea of, like, oh, we get to control so and so, this and that. Like, I personally like stuff like that, because it
Mhm.
builds into the drama of the characters and their character development of who they become in the future. um
Yeah.
the morality and choices was more interesting with the villains than anything. The choices Jinx made that you guys spoke on, the decisions that Silco made to, lead up to the events of the end of season one. All those things matter in the sense of character development. Like I said, I love that. Silco isn't a part of the game. He is a brand new, fresh character.
I heard
It,
about that. I was like, oh wait, he's like anime only, quote unquote, to use terminology like that. It's like, oh, okay, all right, this is cool and all that. Like, Silko's story was really cool, and like just how they structured all of that. But we can get into that later. But I do want to respond real quick, like with like the whole political things, because like normally I am a fan of that stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, give me some of that shit. I think just my level of interest with the people around Jace wasn't there, because like I was full on with Jace. I was just like, yeah, I want to see where you're going. And again, like his eventual, like his corruption, I guess, like for himself, was really intriguing. That's what always kind of brought me back into it. But it's whenever we transitioned from like whatever Jinx or Vi was doing to them, I'm just like, ah, shit. Okay, fine. All right, we're going back into this. And but then it would show Jason. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. I like Jace. All right, cool. Neat. Let's go. Let's do this. So
I feel like, no,
yeah,
I respect that. Like, I think
yeah.
it had some meaning, to say the least, with that.
Hmm.
But the morality choices too, like, you have the villains, but you also
Yeah.
have the heroes too. How Victor decided, that Hex Tech shouldn't be pursued. It should, like, even though finding it with Jace and deciding later, like, oh, maybe we should use it a little bit more. You see, the name of corruption comes back around. It follows
Hmm.
through with everybody. It can happen to someone that's not good, someone that's very good. And you see that with these characters. That again leads back into the character development. Innovation and corruption. Again, what is there really more to say? Like,
Yeah.
the idea of Hex Tech is very, very cool, because in the game, Hex Tech is a skin that could be wore, but it's very
Hmm.
exclusive. It's really hard to get. So to in layman's terms, to make it very simple for you guys, right? It's kind of like gotcha. You have to buy
Okay.
a shit ton of these boxes to get a bunch of these pieces of the skin, and you got to get a
Hmm.
couple of those to get the full skin to unlock it completely. But while you're unlocking the box, you could potentially get a Hextech shard, a Hextech crystal, excuse me. And
Okay.
you need, I think, I don't remember. It's been a very long time. But I think you need 20 of them to unlock a certain skin for a certain character. And I know since 2020 they were recently a little bit more of them. I don't know how many they are
Mhm.
anymore. Right now I believe there's 90 champions, including Amberosa that came out
Dang.
the beginning of November. So I'm pretty sure that if I'm not mistaken, there should be a good maybe 15, 20 of those skins, and they're very exclusive. So,
Mhm.
the idea of Hextech was very nice to see, bringing that into the actual animation. Like, how did Hextech came to be? It was through Jason Victor. How
Yeah.
did Shimmer came to be? It was never brought up in the game either, but it was a nice concept because we see that's kind of how Jinx kind of becomes the persona, the person that she is.
Mhm.
I like that. Overall, it's every theme in this show has its pros and cons. I
Yeah.
just can't really, as a gamer, see saying one is bigger than the other. I personally like all of it. I think all of it meshes together. I think you need to say all of these themes need to coincide with each other for it to make sense to be like, yeah, you need
Yep.
these in this type of season one, and even going to season two without going with any spoilers. Like
Yeah.
these themes overall really make everybody, the characters, the background, the area that they're in, make it plausible.
Mhm. No, I agree. I agree. And I mean that just makes a good story to like have multiple themes like this that intertwine so well with each other that like if you don't have one of them, like if you don't have the family aspect of it, you won't get like the corruption part of it, or like if you don't have like the morality choices aspect of it, like you definitely don't have the power struggles and all that. So like yeah, this show does a really good job of intertwining all of those themes and making such an awesome product too. Because like again, I mean, I just go back to the bridge scene, the bridge fight scene, because it's like Echo, he was this little kid that like gave them like some bad information, for a heist and all that. And it's like he's correct me if I'm wrong, he was relatively like the same age as Jinx as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Same age.
they were yeah, so like they were both in a similar environment, but they both just like grew up so differently because of just what's happened and all that. So like you just see even then like just certain parallels and all that stuff with it. It's just really good. It's really good.
Side tangent before I forget, and it's a nice little bit of lore tip. It
Mhm.
wasn't introduced until season one release of Arcane, but there was a little update patch with Echo's voice lines where, because of Arcane, it was shown that he actually had a crush on Jinx prior to
I
the
could see it.
update. It
Mhm.
was never spoken about, so they had some type of connection because they were living in Zon. But up until that update, it was shown in the voice lines, and if I remember clearly, he said pretty much like, I used to have the biggest crush on you, but then you got crazy and you play around with a gun a lot. And now I'm glad we never were a thing. So it was a nice little fling, nice little thing to see. You do see that, yeah, in the show, that he has some kind
Mhm.
of deep connection with him, but it was never pushed past that, and I'm glad. Like it was a nice
Yeah.
little, like, gesture, to say the least.
Okay.
I feel like that's
Coolio.
good to talk about, because when you talk about a nice gesture, the question is there a favorite arc for you guys? Because like I said earlier, in this episode breakdown, we had episode 1, 2, and 3. It was a childhood arc. Episode 4 through 6 was a time skip arc, where you have the introduction of Adelvi and Jinx with a ladder now of chaotic, unstable relationship. Jason Victor advancement in the Hex tag, the tension between Piltover, Elite, and Zon rebellion deepens, and then the climax arc of episode 7 through 9, everything of the tension boils over of Piltover and Zon, and then the continuing Jinx mental breakdown, the ultimate transformation of sending that big giant rocket to the big tower where everyone is having their little council meeting, and the emotional scene at the end. How do you feel like for these episodes arc climax being released? Usually it's different when it comes to anime. You get your
Mhm.
12 episode arc, you have one season arc, sometimes you have a 6 episode arc. But with this animation, 9 episodes, 45 minutes mostly each episode, like probably 38 minimum to 45 minutes episodes for each of these arcs. How did you feel about the storytelling, these type of character arcs, going from the childhood, Jinx, Powder, Vi,
Mhm.
going to see what they gone through from Act 1 to Act 2 to Act 3, how a domino effect, just showing that what the Joker has said, one bad day could just turn it all around. But for our characters in Arcane, it was a bad day every day that finally just made it turn around into making it worse.
Yeah. Um. God. I mean, I feel bad kind of ranking these arcs, if I'm
Yeah.
being honest, because like each of them are like really good, and like each of them has like something that just is really fucking good in it.
Well,
I would probably say like climax arc was like, I mean, obviously, you know, everything's culminating and ending, quote unquote, and all that. But like that one really had like a lot of moments that stuck with me. Like one of them being like, and this kind of ties into one of my favorite scenes in Act One, was the stuff with Silco, because like when Silco first meets Jinx, like after, you know, building exploded, Vander's just there dead and all that stuff, and like Jinx just got abandoned by Vi and all that stuff, and like he confronts Jinx, and like she, at first you think she's gonna attack him, but like her jump and hug to him was, it was so visceral, and like you have this moment where Silco's sitting there, like he hasn't held Jinx yet. He's just kind of sitting there, and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And you see him looking up right at Vander laying down there, and you're like, "Oh,
I
okay."
understand
And then he
now.
looks back down, and like he hugs Jinx. So it's just like, okay, we're gonna do this whole thing where like he raises her to be, you know, and I'm glad you kind of put it in here too. Like Soko's role is like a manipulative yet caring figure for Jinx, because it's like, okay, yeah, there was some manipulation in there. But throughout all of that, he did care about her, like to a point where, you know, yeah, you are my daughter. And it just culminates in that climax arc where, like, he spends time, he goes to that statue of Vander and sits there, and he's just like, because like at the moment he's thinking to himself, he has a chance, he has a shot at freedom, to be like, to just have the power that he wants, to be again just free and have what he wants. Like it's literally right there. All he has to do is hand over Jinx.
And he can't.
He can't. He just can't. And like when he's sitting there at Vander's statue, and he's just like, you know what? I get it. These daughters really are the death of us. And it literally is the death of him, because later on he gets shot, and then like, because even then he's like telling Jinx, you know, oh yeah, I wouldn't betray you and all that stuff, and like you're kind of still led to believe, okay, you're just bullshitting because you're a villain. Like we know you're a villain, we know you're a dick, we know you're an asshole and all that stuff. But it's like, even when he's dying, he's like, yeah, I still would never have turned you over. It's like you could tell just by in his voice and his mannerisms that he was genuine in that moment, and it's like it really just makes his character that much more better. And then to find out after the fact that he was quote unquote anime only, it's like, what are these writers on right now? Like, again, like a lot of this show, from what I'm assuming, is based just off of the character bios,
Which
which
is
that's
insane.
cool, you know. Yeah, which is
It goes so
insane
much
in
more
itself,
deeper than that. It just
you
goes
know.
so much more deeper than that.
And it's like, this is an anime only character, and you're giving him that much depth. That's just bonkers to me. But
It's
like,
amazing.
Silco's only like, yeah, he's like this the tip of the iceberg with everything.
I would like to piggyback towards that character of
Mhm.
Seiko, because when he says like this is the death of us, of these girls, it just shows that he's the type of villain that he has a kryptonite. But his kryptonite is
Mhm.
that he doesn't believe as well as Vander that Jinx is not bad. Is that the actions, the choices
Yeah.
that she has done does make her look bad. but her intentions are all good. She has the
Mm-hmm.
best vision for Zon, for the people on the underground. She believes that she could do something. And Silco, with his worst intention, he's technically a bad guy still. He is an underground mafia boss. If people don't see it like that, that's what he is. He's an underground mafia boss that literally is selling drugs to people, getting a little high, experiments in the underground, grabbing people on by their will. But then he has a
Mm-hmm.
little adopted daughter that he cares. And hey, you want to destroy my plans? Want to fuck shit up for me? Sure, is what it is. I still love you, Jinx. So just to see that type of relationship of Silco knowing that everything has gone his way, but then the little small hiccup, the little small one loose screw can mess shit
Mm-hmm.
everything up.
His
Yeah.
humanity, you could say, his like only humanity, his only like ray of shining light is this crazy girl.
Yeah.
Yep.
This
Because that's
crazy
the
girl.
thing, like with like his story going into it, like he keeps hinting at, oh, I threw all that shit away. I didn't need that. I didn't need those emotions, but like they're still there. And the fact that it's all because of Vander. Like, yeah, you could say, oh, Jinx, blah blah blah. She gave him like humanity, but it's like, no, he had the connection with Vander before. He like looked at Vander as he was taking care of Jinx, and you could interpret or whatever, you can infer or whatever,
So
that like he always thought of Vander in these situations, like, okay,
Yeah.
he took care of this girl, how can I do this? Like, he was able to do it, I can do it, blah blah blah. And that, again, it just culminates to that moment with him at the statue being like, they all truly are the death of us. And I thought that just throughout all the arcs, just seeing Silco's journey through that was really, really, really good. And I mean, there's other stuff too, but I at least wanted to highlight the Silco stuff because, again, even though he's a villain, even though he's an ass, he's still an ass with a heart of gold
I agree.
I will say,
in
just
a
to
way.
like piggyback on you guys as well too, but not to
Yeah.
waste much time. Watkins, you said you are up to date with Arcane, like you are on like you finished season 2, Act 2.
No, I'm
He's
only
on
one
Act
episode into
Two.
Act
Yeah,
Two.
he's on episode 4.
Yeah. So yeah,
So
I finished I finished that first episode of Act Two, and with that little reveal of, and I'm like, oh.
so for all sakes and purposes, to answer Vash's question real quick, can I choose all of these really? Because it again, it's hard to choose all.
Oh no,
Um,
like there is no like specific ranking between the childhood arc, the time skip arc, the climax. It's more like out of these childhood arcs, time skip arc, and climax, where what was a story that was your favorite out of all these? Was there one that really stood out more to you? Like for Watkins, he brought up Silco, just his overarching story of being manipulative, being a person that caring for Jinx and everything. All that is very impactful, and meaningful. For as well for me, one of my most favorite part is seeing the corruption of Piltover, of seeing how much they have lost control as a council, as a city, losing control. In Act 2, you see how Jinx and her people have come in, do the little heists and everything has taken off. I believe it wasn't Jinx. It, it was Echo and his people first, I believe. So like seeing all that happen and everything happening, even with Jace and his stupid ambitions of trying to look over on top just because of a girl, and him and his corruption of magic and everything, just because, and stealing the idea from my boy Victor. And I'm like, Chase, go fuck yourself.
the reason why I asked about that question, Watkins, and this kind of applies to you too, Vash.
Mm,
And I'm not gonna be afraid to say it here on the podcast. Everything you guys are saying, right? I want you guys to remember it going on to Arcane season 2 for the next episode, because you
mm,
guys are saying very important things that unfortunately I really can't really speak on because it ties into major spoilers. Even though we were talking about season one, you guys are very not that far off to what potentially is happening currently, in season two. Um, and it's gonna be very crazy because I'm gonna come back to this what both of you guys are saying from both your perspectives from the arcs because they're really important going on to season two. But to answer the question, uh, I like all of it. I really, it's really hard to say like the childhood arc, seeing how they, how they are sisters in that sense. Vi and Jinx, we go back to that idea, like how are they, siblings in that aspect. The time skip arc, Jace and Victor finding Hextech to now them, developing it and bringing it to Piltover as a new technological aspect. Not listen to Heimerdinger's, warnings that it's dangerous technology. Do not mess with the Arcane.
But why? Explain this to us, Heimerdinger. Yeah. Explain this.
Couldn't help us. Yeah, you couldn't fucking Heimerdinger.
Again, it's hard.
You want us to fuck this up? You told us, I've been alive for 800 years. We have never touched this magic. We should have never done this. Oh, tell us why, motherfucker. You've been on this planet for so fucking long.
And like his only reasoning is it's dangerous. It's like
no shit. Everything is dangerous to us. The why? Unknown. The unknown is dangerous.
Tell us why it's dangerous. Tell us what happened to those other things, those other places. Because I mean, obviously they don't know because they're still messing with it. But it's like, tell us what happened with them, and maybe, I don't know, we can learn from that and prevent that from happening. But that's besides the point, I guess. I don't know. Then we wouldn't even have a plot. We wouldn't have a plot then.
Again, like it just goes to show, like because I know about the games, and I'm a little head. It's like Heimerdinger was onto something. Always listen to the Yordles. The Yordles are never wrong in that aspect. But you're getting to the time skip arc with Hextech. You're seeing more of the tension build with Piltover and so on. Like they just don't like each other, but you see the reasons building up to with the heist again, like you guys said, towards the very end. With Jinx firing the rocket, the climax arc. What I really liked about that more than anything was, we in the games everyone understands that Vi, and Caitlyn are two characters. That are two different personas, two different personalities. But in the games, they have two skins that they share. And those skins are the Officer Caitlyn skin and the Officer Vi skin. Are straight like police officers. You see those photos connected. So me just going based off those skins, it's nice to see how that origin, how that little universe came to be in that aspect. Yeah, we're working together. We're working to, make the world a better place in that aspect. The romantic aspect between two of them was not something I expected. I thought they were the best of friends. I didn't expect them to be anything more than that. So it was nice to see that their friendship blossomed to something maybe potentially a little bit more. It's not something the people asked for, but it's not something we were mad about either. I will say that much. Silco is one of the I guess I would say that take, and I wouldn't be mad at anybody disagreed with me, but I think he's one of the greatest villains in animated history in a very long time, and that's a really crazy take. He's very original. He's not even from the game itself, like Watkins said.
Yeah.
The fact you have somebody like him, and I say this with a grain of salt, he's bringing more to the table going to season 2, and just even before that, an original character like him, who has intentions to change Zon in his own way, needs to have ulterior motives. And the fact that we think we know what those were going, into the end of season 1 is mind-boggling, because I thought that was it. Wow, what a character. He's trying to change on the world in his own way, with Shimmer and trying to change this, daughter of his, Jinx, into somebody that could potentially change the world if he couldn't. But going past that, to season 2, it's like, no, there's more to this character that we could ever have imagined, and I can't wait for you guys to see that. But Silco as a villain, wow, he amazing. Riot Games again creates these original characters in so many different ways, and I just can't, I can't believe they're still bringing out more lore, more story into it. Right, the rocket that ending just outright as the rocket is flying through to the meeting and then just stops and goes to the credits. I was upset. You guys
Oh,
don't understand.
I was blue
I was
balls. I was mad. I was
pissed.
like, how you do this? How do you literally just do fade to black like this?
You
No.
guys had it more easier because you guys can go, oh, season 2's bet I can go to the next episode. No, for somebody like me who just saw it in 2021, just ending like that, like that's it. That's all I get to see, and then it's like potentially season 2 coming next, whatever the fuck, 3 years.
That's why I was so glad. I was so glad that I even watched the end of season 1 with my friend Eden's. We were on a Discord call watching it, and the episode ended with that missile shot, and I'm like, man, dude, I'm glad I watched this now
because you would have been mad. You would have been mad 3 years ago. You would be like, fuck this shit.
Pissed for 3 years. See, that's okay. Short little tangent. This is why I didn't watch Young Justice for so long, because I heard, oh yeah, season 2 ends off with this huge cliffhanger and everybody's mad. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna watch a show that ends like that. That is,
and then wait like 10 years later.
Back.
Yeah.
So like to see that was the ending for season 1, I'm like, oh, I get it now. When does season 2 drop again? Because I need to see what happens.
But now we're here and perfect timing to binge watch. But exactly. I want to just because we're gonna come back to this during our characters and key strength before we end our thing. So I'm gonna mesh these 2 segments together: animation and visuals, and music and sound design. Since it's kind of more of a production standpoint, so I'm gonna just mesh both of them together. How did you guys feel about the blend of the 2D and 3D animation with incredible detail, and with everything of the opening theme, the famous theme of Enemy by Imagine Dragons captured the essence of the show, the atmosphere, score, enhancing the action, the emotional beats, like we did earlier that Watkins brought up, the fight between Jinx and Echo ending episode 6 of Act 2.
Look, let me just say this. Let me get this out of the way real quick. The music aspect, right? Because I know we're gonna say great things about the animation. The music aspect was fucking phenomenal. That opening theme song was not something we asked for. Imagine Dragons always puts out one of the greatest fucking songs ever. Radioactive, when Assassin's Creed 3 came out, was something nice I saw in the trailers. For them to put fucking Enemy for Arcane was so nice. Seeing the kids walking through the first arc, through the Hazan. It was so cool to see them just oh, you're kids, but everyone is out to get you because you're orphans in that sense. I like that analogy. I like damn, it scores so hard. I feel it. I can get to the groove of this show. And there's other nice amazing actors. Artists singing. Putting nice songs in Arcane. All of it slapped, all of it connected with the theme, the mood, the emotion of the show. There was not a single part of the song or moment of Arcane where it was like, yeah, this sucks, or I'm not feeling it. No, everything connected. And it's hard to get that in a lot of whether it's anime or in Western animation lately. It's really hard to get something like that. It's you need to have the right kind of balance when it comes to music and an emotional moment, whether it's something serious or something funny. So it's nice to know that Riot took their time with the choices of artists that they made to play their songs in the right sequence in this first season. Though the animation, I'll let the two of you speak on it because the only thing I really say about it is that it was perfect. I liked it. There was nothing wrong with it. It's very unique. It's not kind of animation you see in a lot of Western animations. I don't mind that the animation studio they chose in France was the designers for it. I think it was great. I don't think anybody else could have done a better job. I don't care the fact they took years to develop it. I even don't mind. I'll be even bold to say I didn't mind the fact that I waited 3 years for a season 2 because with a kind of animation like that takes time, and a lot of people don't understand when it comes
money.
It takes time and money, and a lot of people think, when it's season 2 for a show or an anime, whatever, good things happen to people who wait. What people don't understand is that if you want greatness, you would have to be willing to be patient to wait for these things, because not any person can be a great artist to draw and animate the things that you like. It takes great skill, great dedication, and experience to make something as great as Arcane. And even looking at the previous like animation drawings, not even from the actual show itself, but just like the drawings themselves, that takes days, even weeks. You can't, it's like with manga. You can't draw manga in a day. It takes so long to do it. It's crazy that it took years to make like a show that has only 9 episodes that last between 39 to 45 minutes. It's crazy, but at the same time, like, you see how long it takes and the dedication and the detail that they put into it. It's amazing. That's really, as far as I can say, it's amazing.
I have to agree because of what Watkins brought up earlier. One of my favorite fight scenes in choreography, it's the Echo versus Jinx fight and episode 6. The slow motion, the cinematography, the sound effect of each of the bullet, the slashing, the quickness, the smoke screen, everything that was involved between their fights. The sound design was really amazing. The blend between 2D and 3D and some even like a water palette type of style of animation. It looked so fluidly. It looked beautiful. It looked very vibrant. The Piltover reminds me a bit of Asgard, like the way it kind of shimmer, of the gold
shimmer
around the city. Yeah, pun intended, I guess, too. The way it just shimmer around the gold city can remind me of Asgard whenever we transition into Asgard, and then you see like the shimmer of gold, of gold holy and everything like that. So it kind of reminds me of that. But the music, like Crash said, I have to agree and back up. The opening theme of Enemy by Magic Dragon, I just want to add saying I still listen to it to this day, and I know the lyrics. That song is amazing. Imagine Dragons Enemy, I haven't heard what's the opening for season 2, so I can't wait for us to talk about it and me watch it, because I've been hearing good things of the music for season 2, so it seems like from what I know that it continues off, so I love it. And Watkins, what do you think about, as a guy yourself that knows about music, what can you highlight about Arcane for music and sound design, and any highlights about the animation and visuals?
I mean, the only other thing I can add, and I'm glad you put this in the notes too, the effective use of silence, because so that's one thing. One thing you need to remember in music and all that, because like when you look at like a music score, there's things called rest and all that. That's like when you don't play for like a certain number of beats, whatever. And one thing to always remember is that silence is part of the song. That's part of the music. That's part of, like in a show, for example, that's part of the scene, because like that silence speaks volumes. It can speak way louder than if you have some huge ass score playing. I mean, a great example of this, I mean, this is from a different series, mind you, but like a great example of this is with DBZ. And this is why, like, I kind of prefer the Japanese OST compared to the Bruce Faulkner score, because like the Bruce Faulkner score is like all these like guitar riffs and like drums, like it's like, all right, cool, great, that sounds cool, that's great. But then like you listen to the Japanese soundtrack and it's like there are often times where it's very quiet, very somber, and it kind of changes the scene a bit. And Arcane does that very well by having like those quiet moments be quiet. Like it lets you absorb the scene so well. So
I
like,
believe
yeah.
in the scene of Silco when he was
Hmm.
accepting that he had to take care of Jinx, there was no music as well. All we heard was the water splash after
Yep.
he choked out Vander, was the water splash of the hands in the water of his, and him seeing Jinx and all that. I think that's the only
Yeah.
thing we heard, and the breathing. So it showed that, like, what I love about this show that you brought up is the sound design, understanding the human reality that us humans,
Yep.
we don't have sound around us. We just have what's in our head, the voices, and what we hear. So whenever we have an emotional scene that we're supposed to vibrate towards to and connected to, that's when we saw about the silence. We only heard what the character was hearing or was going through their head trying to process all this information.
Hmm. So, I mean, that's really all I have to add for it.
Yeah. Other than that, to me, like the music and the sound design, everything has been amazing. I cannot go any more in detail. Anything anyone else needs to add anything? Now we could touch on anything of the characters and performances that we missed to mention throughout the previous segment. Anything you guys want to highlight about V, Jinx slash Powder, Jace, Silco, Victor, Vander, Caitlyn, anybody else I can mention down the list. That Echo, anybody that you want to mention that you want to highlight about the character that we also if you're going to mention, for me it's still fuck Chase Train. Now fuck Jace. Because of him,
Oh,
everything literally went down a domino effect. Because he had a strong ambition of corruption of magic just because of a wizard showing him something at the age of 8 years old.
All I would say real quick is for I've said it before, I'll say it again. The Jinx and Echo fight is the top 5, even top 3 animated fights of all time. I will fight on that hill. I will die on that hill gladly. There is no reason why that animation had to go so hard. I still have that living rent free in my head. That that fight every fucking day. And
yeah.
I always forget Jinx. I'm not Jinx. Echo is a mage, you could say, because he deals with magic in that sense. But he's also in a class of assassin, hence why I chose him. First things first, always playing that game. But I can't wait to see more of these characters going into season 2. I can't wait for you guys to see more of season 2 going on. Hopefully, at the end of this Saturday, because you guys are spot on with all your takes, all your opinions, and believe me when I tell you, everything that you're seeing right now is going to be very important going on to season 2. Very, very important.
Good. Well, especially like the only person I can say, and I won't say too much just because of what I've seen of season 2. Victor has a lot more going on with season 2 than in season 1. Because like I feel like season 1 was just kind of like the setup for what's gonna happen, and I don't necessarily know where Victor's gonna end up, but I've seen up to episode 1 of the second arc, and just seeing what he's doing now, I'm like, ooh, this okay, this is where all right. Again, I'm trying not to spoil anything or say more, but it's just like, okay, all right, I see something cool here. I see something interesting. Like
whenever you can, or chat, if anybody watching this in the future, somebody clip what Watkins is saying and my reaction to that, because you guys are not ready. You guys seen maybe the first episode or is about to watch the first episode. Cool. You guys are not ready for what happens after the fact. It's just gonna be very, very interesting.
Oh goody.
I'd love to hear that. Because let me see, because we spoke about a lot about Jinx and the characters. We spoke of Violet. We spoke of Vander.
What about the voice actresses? Because I did want to shout them out if you guys didn't speak on them. Because I will say real quick, Jinx is voiced by Elena Purnell, who I didn't even know about the voice actresses about them at the time of the release of Arcane season 1, which is crazy. Then I saw Hawkeye in its release a couple years back during Christmas.
And then I found out it's Vi.
Yes, I didn't know she's very voice high at the time. I was like, really, Vi? Her? No way. And I rewatched clips and I said, holy shit, she did a phenomenal job. I didn't put two together. I didn't have a reason to. I'm like, damn, she did a phenomenal, like, she killed it. She did that. She did Hawkeye, and she did a whole other, I forgot, another series that was really well known. I can't believe it slipped in my mind, but she was doing a phenomenal job in 2021, 2022 as voice actressing. Then going on to Jinx, voiced by Elena Pornell. I saw Fallout, the series, the live action, a great series. I highly recommend to anybody who's a Fallout, person who loved the games. I
Mhm.
saw her. She did a phenomenal job play, the Vault Girl. Then lo and behold, to find out that she voiced Jinx, and I said, "What the fuck? I didn't even know that." Like these voice actors and actresses that are playing in Arcane, I never expected at all to be voicing these people. I'm like, I to this day, I still can't imagine her voicing Jinx. I don't know how she does a phenomenal job. The way like voices Jinx, to how she talks in real life, it's two different people. It's not even the same person to me personally. I still don't believe it's her talking sometimes, but like that's how it goes to show. Voice acting goes a long way, especially with the experience, and she does a phenomenal job. No wonder Arcane
Yeah.
was so highly rated, and she's doing the exact same thing, killing it in season 2.
Yeah. And like, so we didn't really touch too much on Vi. So I guess just really quickly, I really like her character story where like because she really exemplifies the whole idea of consequences. Like what you do has dire consequences to it. Like because of her, listening to Echo way back then, you know, leading into the heist and all that, and that gave us the input, the domino effect, as you will, for what's going on right now. But like not only that, it's just like even later on, it's just like she had multiple chances to just take out Jinx and all that, and
That but also
she couldn't, and all
she
that stuff.
accepted to
Yeah.
go to jail. Like she literally
Hmm.
accepted to go to jail as a
Yeah.
substitute for her sister, and literally
Yeah.
stayed in jail. And then she cut a deal to find out and get out of jail early just to find Jinx.
Yeah. And also I'm just a sucker for somebody who just throws hands. Like she doesn't have
Oh,
any special powers or anything. She just like the most she has is those gloves and all that. But even
yo,
then it's just like
Gauntlets.
oh hell yeah, just like fucking
yo,
rope it up. We were
yo,
talking about Rocky earlier. She's like, oh hey Caitlin, what's this? So it's like, oh hell yeah. Get
she
that
has
title belt,
no
girl.
hesitation to give the hands
Mm,
to anybody. Don't give no gender or race on the spectrum. She said, "Hey, you want the
yeah.
hands? You want the smoke? Yeet, bah!"
Exactly.
And I
But
love
like
it.
she deals with so much because again, she has to deal with the consequences of her actions, because she went to jail and couldn't be there for Jinx, basically abandoning her and
Yep.
all that, led to Jinx, led to that person becoming a
And plus,
thing and all
Jinx
that.
did feel like that. She told her later, like,
Mhm.
"You abandoned me," and Vi was like, "How? I got to jail and you didn't even know that. You didn't even know what to do in
Yeah.
the first place." So I get
Yeah.
that even from Vi perspective, and just say how much a father figure or a person could inspire you. Her looking up to Vander as such a role model made her become the aggressor, the
Mhm.
person that stands on all 10 toes. If she believes in something, she would defend Jinx. She's like, "Yo, she's my sister. You told me to always protect her, to protect the people around me. That's what I'm doing." So Vi went so much. Like for example, if I watched John Cena for years as a kid, she would be on hustle, loyalty, and respect type of slogan.
Mhm.
Like that's what Vi went by because of the Vander standards. Even Vander was
The Vander standards.
yeah, the Vander standards of how he complained to his friend at the bar. Said like, "Man, these kids want to fight these people, want to take over, put over, want to take down the bad guys, want to do this, want to do that. I'm tired of this bullshit. Why they gotta do this?" And Vander said it, that these people, the history repeats, and in any
Mhm.
type of story mediums, history always repeats. And this is one of the hugest things for Vander. Vi is his current version in this generation. Vander was the older version. Vi right now wants to be the one to help out Zon and bring them to light, to put over, be the person to like, "Hey, let's fight them. Let's take them out." Vander's like, "Girl, we did that 10 years ago. We lost.
Yeah.
We lost too many people on the battlefield. Your parents died on the battlefield. I had to be your stepfather. Was that by choice? No. the people here made these choices, and look where that got us. Like that to me was such a
Exactly.
huge thing on the character and Violet, and knowing that your siblings slash family consequences will always hold you down, but it's because those are the chains that handcuff you. That was never by choice. Vi feels handcuffed to Jinx no matter what because that's your sister. No matter what your sister has done, you gotta clean up her mess, even if you don't like
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
And that is such a beautiful story for Arcane. Everyone is cleaning up their mess. You know, Heimerdinger cleaning up the mess for Victor and Chase. But then at the same time, not trying to clean up the mess, but also trying to be like, don't cost the mess. But also, I'm not going to tell you why not to cost it. Just don't do it.
That damn Furby could have helped more, but whatever.
I will say it's nice to hear the Yordles, the race, being brought upon in Arcane, because it's just him and Teemo. I don't know if you guys remember, but in when Jinx is becoming a villain during the grown up arc, she has like the little like area where like there's like a shooting gallery or whatnot, and you'll see Captain Teemo in those little like shooting targets.
Yeah.
So it was like a nice little Easter egg. If you're not familiar with the game, he is a character. He's a Yordle, kind of like Heimerdinger, like a furball. It's a shame you don't really get to see that character. I really would like to see them, but it doesn't make sense for that character to be in that time and place at all because he has nothing to do with it. But it's a nice little nod to the character overall. I would like to see more of his race, like Heimerdinger's race, in the in Arcane. But truth be told, it also makes sense why he's there in Piltover and not where the Yordles originate from. It's cool to see like, oh, you came from here, not from your actual origin point of the Yordles, which I forgot. I think it's called a little area called Bandle, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. But it's been a very long time since I watched played a League, but it's a nice little nod. I hope we get more of that going forward.
For me, I was gonna add. Does anybody have any last words about the woman cast? Caitlyn, Mel Madara, or Ambessa Madara? Does anybody have any comments about them? I know we did briefly speak about Caitlyn throughout our mini segments, but does anybody want to take this chance to speak about them? About Chase side piece and everything, and about her mother and everything. Does anybody have any last comments about them before we move on to our last segment?
You want to go first, Watkins?
Because I can't because of season 2. Like
that is true. Their story,
Caitlyn in season 2.
Look, let me just say before you say on that.
Just season 1 thoughts, not season 2. Yeah. I know, season 1 thoughts. Try to be as vaguely.
She's good. She's good in season 1. She's good in season 1.
And how about anything about Chase side piece and her mother?
So what I would say, Mel again is an original character. She's not in the game.
Okay.
Very brand new, fresh original. She brings an interesting take to being part of Jason's life, being part of the council. But the fact that her mother is also a new character, I had told
really
the guys here. But she is a brand new character in the game of League. She just got released November 6th.
Yeah, this month. That's a crazy thing.
Yes. She it was nice after seeing her in Arcane.
No, she literally if there was ever a character I thought was in the original game before all of this, she would have fit that to a T. No, she's not anime only.
And 3 years later, after the series came out, season 1, she gets added on the same month of season 2 coming out, which is insane.
That's crazy.
So, Amberessa, she, I guess a lot of people liked her, or Riot had planned to release her eventually, but yeah, she is new to the game. There is not much to speak on her or Mel right now. I think they were interesting characters, to say at least in season 1, with the interesting perspective of Noxus coming to Piltover to like help in a sense. Because Noxus, again, for those who may or may not know, is a country that feeds off war, fighting. You can think about it like Kratos always fighting, for the gods. Caesar's Legion and Fallout, like fighting for Caesar. They're the type of people they just kill like Freya in Damachi. They just kill for their
Mm.
goddess. This is a country that like feeds off violence. So to see that type of character, that type of perspective coming into a technological ideology like Piltover and even Zon is very, very unique to say the least. But it's more of what they bring to the table in season two. What I will say for season one overall is that they're very important for the lore going forward for these characters because they build off the character development for everybody with Caitlyn, with Jace, with Vi, with Jinx. It's not really explained right now in season one. People might even think, oh, what the hell's the point of bringing them in? Like, they're pointless. It might seem that way now. They might be been used as drama in a sense for season one, but going forward in season two, they have a lot more of an importance to the future Piltover, to the character development of these main characters, and overall to the future of League of Legends of what they will become as legends. But I think they were interesting characters to say the least because they were originally original characters besides Ambrosa. That she is a legend now in the game. I think she's a top laner. Again, I have not seen her gameplay. I have not seen her kit, how she plays, but just based off how she acts in Arcane, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be a top laner. I don't think she's gonna be a jungler. I don't think you play her mid. She's definitely not an ADC or support character. So I think she's gonna be top lane just from my personal experience playing the game.
All
I
the
will take
time.
your word for that.
Exactly. All I hear from Crash when he speaks about terminology when it comes to the game, it just goes through one ear, goes out there. I'm like, huh? Okay, I believe you. Yes, what you say is 100% proven fact. Like this, it is the last segment, the discussion point for the podcast. What was your favorite character, the most impactful moments, and how was Arcane the balance of the fan service for the League of Legends, but also accessibility for the newcomers? And is Arcane the best adaptation for video games ever made?
Look, Sonic exists, so I don't know about that.
Hey, I would say for TV, Arcane is for Arcane, definitely TV best adaptation for game. I'll say this for best overall, kind of hard to tell because I'm about to say Super Mario was good, so Super Mario Brothers was actually good as well. You can never tell. Mario versus Sonic always will be.
Well, chili dogs. um, I mean, it is really good. Like there is a depth to this show that's you don't see a lot of. I think it helps too that like Arcane and mainly League of Legends has
such great influence.
It's such such deep lore within itself
That's
as well.
too.
Plus,
Yeah.
like you can really make a good series. This might be a weird sentence to hear or even say. You can make a really good series by having like those pre-established biographies of each character because then you can build upon that and you can like kind of piece things together like Crash was saying earlier, people were always speculating Vi and Jinx being sisters and all that, but like apparently it was never confirmed in the games, but like now that we have the show, it's kind of confirmed now that they were sisters. They did have a past together, and it's like now there's that connection. There's finally like those fans can eat a little bit. They can feast off of that and be like, okay, now maybe their teams might change because it might be like, oh wait, now I can't have them on the same team or like shit like that. Like again, I don't know how the game actually works and like all that stuff, but it's like that could also alter your gameplay with it too. So like I can only imagine, how this does for the people who still play these games and still like hold on to League of Legends. And plus, like, I don't know if you guys saw this new piece of news coming out or anything, but like, they're not stopping with Arcane apparently. Apparently,
Nope.
like, because there's so many other stories within League of Legends. I guess they do plan on going deeper with the lore, like doing more stories and telling more things of other characters in League of Legends. So I mean, if they're going to be on the level of Arcane, bring it on. That's what I
Uh,
say.
I mean, from a gamer perspective, right? The
Hmm.
thing that you guys need to know as just viewers overall is that in the game there are skins. You have the main
Yeah.
characters, and you can customize, their characters with different skins that visually it looks appealing. But what not a lot of people know is that these skins actually tell a different story in a different universe.
Mm.
So it's like you have the main character playing in the life of Ruteria is the area, the whole world of League of Legends. Um, with these skins, they have different universes. Let's say, for example, Echo, right? He lives in Zon, but one of his skins is the true damage skin. That is the where the tattoo idea comes from. In this
Mm.
universe, Echo and a couple other characters actually are a pop group, who does music videos, performing music and everything like that. So
Okay.
the fact that you're saying that it brings so many potential possibilities, not just with just main or
Uh,
you have, which
uh,
I pray to God, I swear to God, I will go crazy. But right, if you're ever listening to this, I hope you do. If you ever make a Star Guardian animation with Lux, with Jinx, with all these other characters, I know they have other people, other characters, but if you make it with Ezreal, I think Janna's in it too. I forgot. You have the evil guys, Star Guardians too. But if they ever make a series with that, I swear to God, I would drop all anime and just watch that for the rest of my life. That's how
Damn.
good those skins are. It's like Sailor Moon, but so much more better. You have Battle Academia, which is a spin-off of My Hero, but not even. But you could say it's like that. The
Mhm.
the skins are another possibility for that on top of what League of Legends lore could offer with like the Yordles. You also have other areas to explore too. Season 2 introduces a part of the map that isn't talked about a lot, but it's nice to introduce because that also brings in other characters. Like I said, the name for spoiler reasons, but you also have like the Frere Lord, like where my other character Ash comes from. You have Demacia, where Garen Lux come from. You have Iona, where a lot of people like Karma, like Shen come from. Akari, Valorian, all Shimura, all these different areas of the map. There's so much story to bring into it that you can't just me personally, you can't just end Arcane in just 2 seasons. So I'm so glad that you said that they're going to continue doing these projects because I would genuinely just want to know more about the lore of all these characters. And I
Mhm.
pray they continue to do it. I don't care how long it takes. You may wait another 4 years, 5 years. That's fine. I will wait for it. You guys, Riot has brought a kind of story, a kind of idea to these gamers through an MMORPG in a sense. Not really MMORPG, but a really big multiplayer game that like you have these characters from a different fantasy world that really defines their lives, changes you in a way like I really want to know more. Like it's so interesting knowing about this fantasy and the stories they tell and how like this world connects you to now the game that you got to play to try to win. I can't wait to see these projects, whatever they are, however they are. I really can't wait to see that.
It shows the passion that falls through you of what you're explaining and everything. I'm gonna just say my favorite character out of all this, it's Powder Jinx. She shows the Harley Quinn version of, to me, in a League of Legends style of
Mhm.
what a crazy mindset could go wrong on a bad day. But when you also have nobody around you to control you, you have the freedom. There was no Joker. Our boy Silco, he said you could do you, just don't cause me problems. And Jinx did whatever she wants. She became her own person, and she became like a mad scientist. And
Yeah.
one of the most impactful moments, I will say this, that the giant fucking rocket. Other than the fight of Echo and Jinx was phenomenal. We could continue talking about it, breaking it down, the cinematography and all that. But the rocket, out of that season one, that was the one that literally got me out of my chair and be like, this 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 bitch did us just threw a rocket? No hesitation, just a rocket aim at a tower where a people of council are having right now. The amount of consequences are gonna get fucked. And then fade in, like that was one of the most biggest cliffhanger I can remember until this day. That got me like, I can't wait. 3 years later, we here. So I'm gonna just say 10 out of 10 for me. Maybe 9.5 out of 10 of season 1. I literally have no flaws for this show. It's literally such great characters. You could relate to them. You could complain about them. You could critique them. But each of them are three-dimensional, and each character that has been introduced is important to the story and has a purpose. And that is when you could tell the best writing and the best style. And the other thing I want to say, I hope towards what Watkins and Crash mentioned, that is more story, more spin-off in the world of Arcane of the League of Legends, because this show reminds me of another type of Netflix project. If anybody have seen it, it's a story by DreamWorks / Guillermo del Toro called Troll Hunters. So I highly recommend anybody that have not seen Troll Hunters. It's a project by DreamWorks del Toro. It's like a 5 type of seasons, 5 type of series show. It all connects with one another, so go check that out if you haven't. But that is the last thoughts of the discussion of Arcane. Does anybody have any last thoughts before we transition to our wrapping up closing thoughts?
I had 2 quick things to mention real quick. So you brought up the missile. I know you guys have not played the game at all, and I at that point in time I had not even known about the game yet. But I believe this music video came out in 2013, maybe 2012, 11 years ago. But it was the introduction of the actual game character Jinx in the game League of Legends. And in the first couple of seconds, you see her riding a bunch of missiles into Piltover, into a bunch of buildings, and then it goes black, and it goes like to like the next sequence of her acting like Harley Quinn, as you said. So me watching it for the first time, I remember the music video immediately. I was like, oh, that's where they got the inspiration from. Of course, it's a music video, it's not canon in the game, but like it's just an idea like how she was acting, how she was evil in Piltover 11 years ago.
That's
so it was if you guys have not seen the music video, I do recommend it. 135 million people have watched that. That's how much everybody loves Jinx. That's how much that character is so like. I can personally tell you, as a League player, many girls who do play League of Legends love Jinx. There's something about her character that's just like, I get her. I love her craziness. I fucks with it. Yeah. It's definitely understandable. I get where everybody comes from with that.
Sometimes crazy sometimes Jinx crazy is attractive.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, Harley Quinn is, everyone has a thing about Harley Quinn, so everyone likes crazy, I guess.
Yeah.
But Walker's, you have something to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, Jinx was probably the only character I ever knew from League of Legends, so if that tells you anything about her popularity.
And I didn't know any.
I mean, better to know late than never. The other thing I was going to mention,
yes.
This question's for the both of you, Vash and Watkins. As it just specifically for season 1, assume that you never heard about season 2 coming out, or you never even watched season 2. For someone who has watched just the first season, would you ever consider playing League of Legends now, knowing what you know about season 1?
No. I still won't play.
The gameplay itself, like, is it just like that type of style?
I just don't got the time for it, and the style. The time and the style. I know about the style. And the time. I just don't got the time. I'd rather put my time to watch Hunter x Hunter or any other series I'm behind on, and I'm getting screamed at for not watching.
Yeah. Yeah, and then just ditto. I second Vash's emotion.
Yeah, the same as this guy.
Like, I don't have the time, and just it's not really my type of game. So, but I mean, I'll watch people play.
Yes, I've watched people. I watch friends. I watch peers play the game. Yeah. Me myself, nah. I can watch friends play on Twitch. If Crash wants to play on Twitch for the team, and I do productive work, I don't mind doing that.
It's very funny you say that, because watching season 2 again and seeing some clips online about it is really making me think, you know what? I should probably go back. I don't know if my account is still active. It's been offline for 4 years. And just watching it again, I'm like, you know what? I want to go back to playing Echo again. I want to go back to playing ADC. I'm like thinking, like, you know what? I might go back. I might get into that toxic idea of, you know what? GG, easy boys. We won that ranked game. It took me an hour and a half. My girls are screaming at me because I've been playing since 3 in the morning. But you know what? Fuck it. I raised high elo.
We here.
And yeah, we here. The game for the I'm sorry, the animation, the show itself is motivating me to watch it. To play the game again. But as of right now, it's just an idea. Like, maybe I'll go back to it. But I see people actually playing the game again. It's been sparked back up. Like, you know what? Let me try it one more time. And it's still going back to like, damn, it's not the same as when I used to play when I was younger.
Well, sometimes things are not like the way they used to be when we're younger. Because we're here for our rapping thoughts. 3 hours ago, we were much younger because this went an hour extra from our coverage. I didn't expect for our Arcane just to dive in, get the little 2 hour sweet spot of Arcane thoughts. So from this, I know next week, next episode 158, we're having no Weeps Lounge. We're having no Otaku News. We're just having Arcane Season 2 as a coverage because from what I can tell, this 2 hours alone, just for Season 1, you know what? Next week episode, Season 2 is going to be a full coverage alone itself. Okay, that's going to be a full own thing. Any last thoughts on my end is literally go check the time codes. You already could see everything I thought about. I'm not going to add any more time to the show. I had a good time. Great show. Great coverage. And Season 1 is great to rewatch. Can't wait to see Season 2 and see if that one is worth to rewatch or cry in emotions and be sad as well. How about you guys?
Probably both. Like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, nothing. I mean, there's stuff we didn't even touch on, you know, dealing with Season 1, but I think we can touch on it
exactly.
When Season 2
I
is
saved
done.
I save a few things for us not to fully dive into because I know it connects into Season 2. Like, this was more of an overarching type of review, and then, you know, next week we could do the full breakdown of the nitty and gritty.
Exactly. So hey, this was just a little appetizer to kind of wet the noodle, if you will. So yeah.
How about you, Crash?
It's been 3 years since the show released. You know, if you haven't watched it yet, it's perfect time to start watching it now. Now that Season 2 came out, and now that it's about to finish this Saturday, this release Wednesday. And the only other thing I will mention is the whole ending of Arcane. Towards the very end, it is kind of this idea of rumor go around a new character would be shown in Season 2. So if you're looking forward to new characters coming into Season 2, definitely keep a lookout for that. I know they were teased towards the beginning of, you know, Arcane Season 2, which I will not spoil here for Season 1, but just know characters that you might want to like know and see that do appear in the game might potentially come out, you know, going to Season 2. So keep an eye out for that.
Right.
Exactly. Keep an eye out for that. And you know where to keep an eye for us? Everywhere on social media at AniMa W3 Studio with a 3 instead of an E. And you can find myself, Legendary Vash, Watkins MW, on all social media platforms, on the personal YouTube channel. Down below are all the links of where to find us on social media. The Discord is down below in the description where to find us as well. We could connect with us and talk to us about all the social media stuff and talking about Twitter. I mean, not Twitter. I'm talking about Marvel, Star Wars, anime, and everything. We don't got Blue Sky yet. Wait, I believe we do. Waves of the Ring has a Blue Sky. Yeah. We do have a Blue Sky for Waves of the Ring. AniMa W3 Studio, we don't got one yet. The Legendary Vash don't exist yet, but maybe that will be happening in the near future for us just to be connecting on everywhere platform, because for some reason, we're just adding more platforms. We got Thread, we got Snapchat, we got MySpace, we got AIM, we got all these things being added or coming back or being rebooted. Who knows? But you know what does matter, guys? It's thanking you guys for joining us tonight and taking the time to listen in. The Anime Lately podcast is presented by AniMa W3 Studio. Our production team, Vash, Watkins, Rome, Jokester, and special thanks to our guest, Crash, and the producers. Don't forget to follow the social media on the brand and the team. All the links are down below. Like I said, lastly, share, like, most importantly, give feedback and let us know what you thought of the episode. You guys, yes, you guys make the show and help us succeed. On behalf of everyone of AniMa W3 Studio team, we thank you for joining us in the Animated League podcast. See you later. Take care. This podcast was not recorded by a live studio audience. We see you in the next one. Take care. And pancakes and cheese.
Boy. If you're iron, do not play League. You're trash.